studio producer Daniel Wilson doing a great job behind the scenes. And there's a bunch of guys handling the on-air duties: Tim Bickford, Richard Williams, Toby Rowland, and Tim Thompson. On behalf of the whole gang, I'm Stephen Hartzell. Thanks for listening. Evening session coming up, 6:30 Central airtime, right here on the SEC Radio Network. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network. The SEC Men's Basketball Tournament has been brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. By Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. By Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. By Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. The Sonic Smasher, live free, eat Sonic. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC. Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. This has been a presentation of the SEC Radio Network.
Second season in the big leagues, patrolled center field, going 1 for 4 with a run scored. Most notable was a game only 2 weeks later when first father, then son, hit home runs off Kirk McCaskill of the California Angels. For the rest of that season and the first part of the next campaign, father and son got into 51 games together before the elder Griffey hung up the cleats in June of 1991. Ken Griffey Jr. later said playing in the big leagues with his father was the biggest thing that ever happened to him outside of the birth of his kids. For it happened in baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841. 4:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies face the Cleveland Guardians on Internet 848. 9:40 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 864. In the NBA, 7 p.m. Detroit Pistons face the Washington Wizards. Pistons on Sirius 137 XM 212 and Internet 888. Wizards on Internet 909. 7:30 p.m. Milwaukee Bucks take on the LA Lakers. Bucks on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 896. Lakers on Internet 893. 8 p.m. New Orleans Pelicans take on the Orlando Magic. Pelicans on Sirius 161 XM 214 and Internet 898. Magic on Internet 901. 8 p.m. Chicago Bulls face the Brooklyn Nets. Bulls on Sirius 160 XM 213 and Internet 884. Nets on Internet 882. 10 p.m. Golden State Warriors face the Sacramento Kings. Warriors on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 889. Kings on Internet 905. In the NHL, 7 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins taking the St. Louis Blues. Penguins on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 941. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m. Columbus Blue Jackets face the Vegas Golden Knights. Jackets on Sirius 211 XM 222 and Internet 927. Knights on Internet 949. 7 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Florida Panthers. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Panthers on Internet 931. 7 p.m. Ottawa Senators take on the Boston Bruins. Senators on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 939. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Flyers on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 940. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the Edmonton Oilers. Devils on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 936. Oilers on Internet 930. 8 p.m., Minnesota Wild face the New York Rangers. Wild on XM 223, Internet 933. Rangers on Internet 938. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 10:30 p.m., LA Kings face the Washington Capitals. Kings on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 932. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950. On the PGA Tour at 12 p.m., catch full coverage of the Players' Championship on Sirius XM and Internet channels 92. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Oregon takes on Indiana on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 2:30 p.m., Xavier faces Marquette on Sirius 139, XM 201, and Internet 963. 5:30 p.m., San Diego State takes on Boise State on Sirius 162, XM 202, and Internet 964. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's, with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Speed, skill, hands. Pavel Bure was one of the most fascinating talents to ever step onto the ice. Even as a young kid, he seemed to always have a knack for finding the back of the net. At the pro level, he put fans into shock and goalies into nightmares on a nightly basis. The man they called the Russian Rocket dazzled hockey fans around the world. Embedded in a family of Olympic athletes, there was no question Pavel Bure was going to succeed on the ice. Playing for CSKA Moscow as a teenager with the likes of Sergei Fedorov, Slava Fetisov, and Igor Larionov pushed him to become one of the best goal scorers the game of hockey has ever seen. In the NHL, alongside his brother Valerie, Pavel consistently put up high-scoring seasons on bad teams. In his rookie campaign, he won the Calder Trophy and put himself on the map. Twice he captured the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. 5 times he finished with 50 or more goals. He played over 700 games in which he scored 437 times and added 342 assists. He was bypassed in his first 6 years of eligibility for the Hall of Fame, but was voted in on June 27, 2012, alongside Matt Sundin, Joe Sakic, and Adam Oates. He became the 5th Soviet or Russian, and to this date, he's the only Hall of Famer to spend the majority of his playing career in Vancouver. One of the best, the Russian Rocket Pavel Bure. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Pete.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's, with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841. 4:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies face the Cleveland Guardians on Internet 848. 9:40 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 864. In the NBA, 7 p.m. Detroit Pistons face the Washington Wizards. Pistons on Sirius 137, XM 212, and Internet 888. Wizards on Internet 909. 7:30 p.m. Milwaukee Bucks take on the LA Lakers. Bucks on Sirius XM channels 86, Internet 896. Lakers on Internet 893. 8 p.m., Nolan's Pelicans take on the Orlando Magic. Pelicans on Sirius 161, XM 214 and Internet 898. Magic on Internet 901. 8 p.m., Chicago Bulls face the Brooklyn Nets. Bulls on Sirius 160, XM 213 and Internet 884. Nets on Internet 882. 10 p.m., Golden State Warriors face the Sacramento Kings. Warriors on Sirius XM channels 86, Internet 889. Kings on Internet 905. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the St. Louis Blues. Penguins on Sirius 210, XM 221 and Internet 941. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the Vegas Golden Knights. Jackets on Sirius 211, XM 222 and Internet 927. Knights on Internet 949. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Florida Panthers. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946. Panthers on Internet 931. 7 p.m., Ottawa Senators take on the Boston Bruins. Senators on Sirius XM channels 167, Internet 939. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Flyers on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 940. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the Edmonton Oilers. Devils on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 936. Oilers on Internet 930. 8 p.m., Minnesota Wild face the New York Rangers. Wild on XM 223, Internet 933. Rangers on Internet 938. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 10:30 p.m., LA Kings face the Washington Capitals. Kings on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 932. Capitals on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 950. On the PGA Tour at 12 p.m., catch full coverage of the Players' Championship on Sirius XM and Internet channels 92. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Oregon takes on Indiana on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 2:30 p.m., Xavier faces Marquette on Sirius 139, XM 201 and Internet 963. 5:30 p.m., San Diego State takes on Boise State on Sirius 162, XM 202 and Internet 964. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's, with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Mick Kern with It Happened in Baseball. July 21st, 1953. Shibe Park in Philadelphia as the Phillies played host to the Milwaukee Braves. With the visitors down by 10 runs in the 7th inning, manager Charlie Grimm went to his bullpen and motioned for 17-year-old Joey J to take the mound. The native of Middletown, Connecticut, was the leading edge of a new wave of baseball sweeping across America. New rules instituted in the late 40s mandated that young players signed to contracts had to remain with the big league club for the first 2 years of that deal, in an effort to make sure that the top clubs didn't scoop up all the top young talent and stash them away on their farm teams. This rule lasted until the late 50s and then was reinstituted during expansion in the early 60s. The adoption of the amateur draft in 1965 put an end to it. These so-called bonus babies included the likes of Sandy Koufax, Al Kaline, Harmon Killebrew, and Catfish Hunter, and Joey J, who spent 7 seasons with the Braves before being traded to the Reds in 1960. He finished his major league career in 1966 back with the Braves, but this time the franchise was located in Atlanta. Jay rang up a record of 99 wins and 91 losses with an ERA of 3.77, was one strikeout away from 1,000 for his career. The right-hander was a switch hitter and helped his own cause by hitting 2 home runs during his career, both coming in 1962 with Cincinnati. Besides being a bonus baby, Joey J is also best remembered as the first Little League player to make it all the way to the major leagues. For It Happened in Baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841. 4:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies face the Cleveland Guardians on Internet 848. 9:40 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 864. In the NBA, 7 p.m. Detroit Pistons face the Washington Wizards. Pistons on Sirius 137 XM 212 and Internet 888. Wizards on Internet 909. 7:30 p.m. Milwaukee Bucks take on the LA Lakers. Bucks on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 896. Lakers on Internet 893. 8 p.m. New Orleans Pelicans take on the Orlando Magic. Pelicans on Sirius 161 XM 214 and Internet 898. Magic on Internet 901. 8 p.m. Chicago Bulls face the Brooklyn Nets. Bulls on Sirius 160 XM 213 and Internet 884. Nets on Internet 882. 10 p.m. Golden State Warriors face the Sacramento Kings. Warriors on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 889. Kings on Internet 905. In the NHL, 7 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins take on the St. Louis Blues. Penguins on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 941. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m. Columbus Blue Jackets face the Vegas Golden Knights. Jackets on Sirius 211 XM 222 and Internet 927. Knights on Internet 949. 7 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Florida Panthers. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Panthers on Internet 931. 7 p.m. Ottawa Senators take on the Boston Bruins. Senators on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 939. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Philadelphia Flyers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Flyers on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 940. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m. New Jersey Devils face the Edmonton Oilers. Devils on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 936. Oilers on Internet 930. 8 p.m. Minnesota Wild face the New York Rangers. Wild on XM 223, Internet 933. Rangers on Internet 938. 10:30 p.m. San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 10:30 p.m. LA Kings face the Washington Capitals. Kings on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 932. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950. On the PGA Tour at 12 p.m., catch full coverage of the Players' Championship on Sirius XM and Internet channels 92. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Oregon takes on Indiana on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 2:30 p.m., Xavier faces Marquette on Sirius 139, XM 201 and Internet 963. 5:30 p.m., San Diego State takes on Boise State on Sirius 162, XM 202 and Internet 964. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Injuries devastate the careers of pro athletes, but for some, they get to play the game they love for many years. But for one former major leaguer, not even a work stoppage that resulted in the longest ever in baseball history could stop this man. Could you imagine someone playing 162 games a year? What about for 16 straight seasons? while for an individual named the Iron Man, it was no problem. 8 Silver Slugger awards, American League Rookie of the Year, 2 Gold Glove awards, a 19-time All-Star, 2-time League MVP, and most importantly, World Series champion 83. But what set Cal Ripken Jr. apart from other major leaguers was his attitude, perseverance, and durability. Lou Gehrig's record of 2,130 games played in a row was supposed to stand for decades, but Ripken defied the odds and did something unthinkable. 2,632 straight games for him over 16-plus seasons. Illness, fatigue, and the traveling schedule of a pro athlete didn't matter for Cal Ripken Jr. He could do it all, and he was part of baseball history every time he took the field. His teammates, coaches, friends, family, they all knew he was determined to play every day until he was satisfied with his performance. Baseball is a game of frustration and failure in many ways. As a hitter, you fail 7 out of 10 times, so you have to deal with failure quite a bit, and that's one of the keys to having long-term success, he said. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Pate.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM Sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841. 4:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies face the Cleveland Guardians on Internet 848. 9:40 p.m., Seattle Mariners take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 864. In the NBA, 7 p.m., Detroit Pistons face the Washington Wizards. Pistons on Sirius 137, XM 212 and Internet 888. Wizards on Internet 909. 7:30 p.m., Milwaukee Bucks take on the LA Lakers. Bucks on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 896. Lakers on Internet 893. 8 p.m., New Orleans Pelicans take on the Orlando Magic. Pelicans on Sirius 161, XM 214 and Internet 898. Magic on Internet 901. 8 p.m., Chicago Bulls face the Brooklyn Nets. Bulls on Sirius 160, XM 213 and Internet 884. Nets on Internet 882. 10 p.m., Golden State Warriors face the Sacramento Kings. Warriors on Sirius and XM channels 86, Internet 889. Kings on Internet 905. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins taking the St. Louis Blues. Penguins on Sirius 210, XM 221 and Internet 941. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the Vegas Golden Knights. Jackets on Sirius 211, XM 222 and Internet 927. Knights on Internet 949. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Florida Panthers. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Panthers on Internet 931. 7 p.m., Ottawa Senators take on the Boston Bruins. Senators on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 939. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Flyers on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 940. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the Edmonton Oilers. Devils on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 936. Oilers on Internet 930. 8 p.m., Minnesota Wild face the New York Rangers. Wild on XM 223, Internet 933. Rangers on Internet 938. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 10:30 p.m., LA Kings face the Washington Capitals. Kings on Sirius 209, XM 220 and Internet 932. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950. On the PGA Tour at 12 p.m., catch full coverage of the Players' Championship on Sirius XM and Internet channels 92. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Oregon takes on Indiana on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 2:30 p.m., Xavier faces Marquette on Sirius 139, XM 201 and Internet 963. 5:30 p.m., San Diego State takes on Boise State on Sirius 162, XM 202 and Internet 964. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM Sports schedule for Thursday, March the 13th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Houston Astros taking the St. Louis Cardinals on XM 176, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the New York Yankees on XM 175, Internet 850. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Pittsburgh Pirates on XM 177, Internet 857. 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets face the Boston Red Sox on Internet 844. 4:05 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the A's, with the Reds on Internet 847, A's on Internet 841.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Mick Kern with It Happened in Baseball. May 27th, 1973. The National League East Division Montreal Expos found themselves at Candlestick Park on this Sunday, taking on the host San Francisco Giants. The box score shows the home nine taking it 6-3 on the strength of a complete game by lefty Ron Bryant, who would go on to finish third in Cy Young voting that season thanks to 24 wins. The box score also reveals that Expos left fielder Curtis Brown went 0 for 4 at the plate, along with 2 putouts. Not exactly a day to remember for the 27-year-old native of Sacramento. He'd get him the next day, right? The trouble is there would be no next day, at least not in the majors. That game against the Giants would be the only time Curtis Brown would ever play in the big leagues. The former Mets farmhand was eventually sent back down to the minors, where he excelled with the AAA Peninsula Whips, a team that also featured a young Gary Carter for a handful of games. Brown isn't the only player to get one solitary crack at the show. Almost 1,000 players over the years have had the proverbial cup of coffee in the majors. Names such as Gary Hill with the 1969 Braves, Gary Lance with the 1977 Royals, and Jeff Bannister with the 1991 Pittsburgh Pirates. Pinch hitting for Doug Drabeck, Bannister picked up a base hit against Atlanta on July 23rd, 1991, his only at-bat in the major leagues. Bannister did all right for himself, however. He became the 18th manager of the Texas Rangers on October 16th, 2014. For It Happened in Baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with
The following is an exclusive presentation of the SEC Radio Network. This is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
He reverses, he shoots, he got it! Just before the buzzer! Contested straight on 3. Oh, he rips the net.
It just means more.
Into the rim and he slams it. Oh, my. To the rack, puts up the runner and scores at the buzzer.
This afternoon in downtown Nashville, we get to see the SEC's headlining act.
Live from Nashville, the SEC Radio Network's exclusive coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament begins. The SEC Radio Network's exclusive coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament begins now. SEC Men's Basketball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. By Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. By Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. The Sonic Smasher, live free, eat Sonic. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC. Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Time for the Johnsonville pregame show. Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. Now let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
We are just 6 games into the 2025 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament, and halfway through day 2, we have had 2 incredibly entertaining games that both went right down to the wire. So while we're a bit behind schedule, we're still just halfway through this middle quadruple header as we march towards crowning a champion at the premier conference tournament in college basketball. Welcome back to Nashville, everybody. Welcome back to Bridgestone Arena. Phil Brame with you as we prepare for our evening twin bill. The 7-seed Mizzou making their tournament debut against the 10-seed Mississippi State. Bulldogs dispatching of LSU in convincing fashion some 24 hours ago. Our nightcap will feature the Big Blue Mist. 6-seed Kentucky, the Cats will make their tournament debut under Mark Pope as they face an Oklahoma team that is feeling much, much better about their NCAA postseason hopes after the Sooners won over Georgia last night. But no disrespect intended to UK and OU. That tussle will have to wait. Right now, we're inside of 15 minutes to go before we get going between Mizzou and Mississippi State. Coming up, we'll hear from the guys who will call this one. Chris Stewart, Tim Thompson are standing by. But up next, we'll take you with us inside the locker room to hear from both head coaches as we count you down to the Bulldogs and the Tigers tonight on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or a triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
Johnsonville asks, you know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Live from Nashville, this is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, the middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from. Thank you for spending your time with us here and cheering on whatever team it is that you're rooting for in the SEC tournament. Please do us a favor and let's get some more basketball fans here in the chat to help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto and have a really good time partying it up during March Madness. Hit that like button down below as well. Please share this link out. Every single share is so massive. Please share it out as it helps YouTube recognize that more people are enjoying what they're watching. Now let's get back to the basketball. Good luck to your team. What's up, basketball fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us this afternoon for the SEC tournament. The first matchup of the day is underway, and we are so glad you're here hanging out with us. Now, please, it's the time of the show for you to let us know where in the world you're watching from. You see the link that's pinned in the chat? You see the link that's getting spammed out in the chat right now? Click that, and that's going to take you to our website to show you where everyone in the world is watching from. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for checking out the new website as well, and good luck to your team.
Surprised that Chris Jans went into the nitty-gritty of defensive basketball. The defensive-minded head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, wary of the defense that he'll face tonight in Mizzou. Getting set for tip time. We got one more timeout to get to, and then it is starting lineups time, and away we go here in Nashville. Stay with us. Just about ready to go on the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a farm-rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
You're listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the valet at the game, and I'm as tight on cash as this lot is on space. So I'm going to park your way too big truck in this way too small spot. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, this might leave you crunched for cash. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me. Who's next?
Savings vary based on coverage selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. The Missouri Tigers.
Field 7 on the shot clock. Trying to break him down. 3 off the bounce. Made it. Big dagger. The lead 10 with 2:40 to play.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Keyshawn Murphy at the top. Great feed to Jones, and he'll elevate and detonate. A two-hand stuff on the give and go, and it's 76-46 Bulldogs.
These are the starting lineups. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC.
Well, we'll get to the starting lineups for both Mississippi State and Missouri in due course. Phil Brain back with you courtside here at Bridgestone Arena, just about set to go as both teams are out warming up before this one. A couple of minutes left before we meet the starting fives for both players. So we'll bring in the two guys that are going to call this one, Chris Stewart, Tim Thompson, and fellas, you know, any good musical, we'll say festival, you got to build the energy. So no pressure, but the first two acts today have been remarkable. Arkansas, Ole Miss, the Rebels hit essentially a buzzer-beating 3 to win that one, 83-80. Then we get our first double overtime in the league in 11 years as Texas beats Texas A&M 94-89 in 2 OTs. Oddly enough, the last time an SEC tournament game went to 2 OTs, Mizzou was involved, and they beat Texas A&M. So the Aggies have the distinction of losing the last 2 double OT games in this tournament. But again, first look at Mizzou. But, Chris, we've already seen Mississippi State in this court, in this arena this week, and to no one's surprise, it wasn't just that they beat LSU, it was that number 12 in maroon and white had a really big role in it.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, Josh Hubbard's as talented on his best night as anybody in America. And, Tim, this is a state team that, yes, you have to worry about him first, but he is far from the only concern if you're the opposition.
Well, and again, he had 26 points last night. And when Mississippi State shoots 15 of 34 from the three-point line, you know you're probably in trouble because of the way they play defense. But the one guy that I really like on Mississippi State team is Cameron Matthews. He's a guy about 6'8", 6'7". They run the ball through him. He kind of plays point forward. He rebounds the basketball. He's one of those guys that really doesn't have to score to make them a really, really good team. But, you know, he's one of those glue guys that I love, and he's a difference maker for Mississippi State.
And Phil talked about it just a moment ago, the change, the complete turn that we've seen from Missouri basketball a year ago to this year. But what Mississippi State and Missouri have very much in common is that finally they have their rosters to fit the personality and coaching styles of their respective head coaches.
Well, you know, anytime you're a young coach, Chris Jans, you know, it's one of those deals where I think this is year 3. And then the NIL process, the transfer portal, all that kind of stuff, it's just now starting to kind of stabilize, in my opinion. And anytime you go past that second or third year, and now, you know, you look at Dennis Gates, last year he was 0-18. Now all of a sudden he has a completely new roster, and that's happened also at Vanderbilt. Same kind of thing. You can change your team's complexion just immediately with this transfer portal.
Difficult to build momentum, but boy, you can catch it in a real hurry. Building is not something people talk a lot about in college athletics these days.
Well, and the interesting thing, if you listened to Rick Pitino about 2 weeks ago, and they asked him about recruiting, he said, "We're not recruiting high school kids anymore. We're going to the portal. There's not a 5-star high school kid that can compete at this level."
Let's go to John George, public address announcer here at Bridgestone Arena.
Time now for our starting lineups. First for Mississippi State. At forward, a senior SEC All-Defensive Team, number 4, Cameron Matthews. At center, a sophomore from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, number 23, Michael Nwoko. At forward, a senior from Arecibo, Puerto Rico, number 22, R.J. Melendez. At guard, a junior from Orlando, Florida, number 2, Riley Kugel. At guard, a sophomore from Madison, Mississippi, second team All-SEC, number 12, Josh Hubbard. Head coach of the Bulldogs, Coach Chris Jans. And now for the Missouri Tigers. At forward, a 6'9" junior from Kansas City, Kansas, second team All-SEC, number 25, Mark Mitchell. At forward, a 6'10" sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 11, Trent Pierce. At guard, a 6'4" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 12, Tony Perkins. At guard, a 6'5" senior from Kansas City, Kansas, number 2, Tamar Bates. And at guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Tallahassee, Florida, All-SEC defensive team, number 0, Anthony Robinson II. Head coach for the Tigers, Coach Dennis Gates. It's time for SEC
Two teams that can score the basketball with anybody, but they are known for what they do on the defensive end.
Well, and the thing about it is, they talked to Dennis Gates about losing streaks. And, every team in this league, for the most part, has gone through a 3-game losing streak. Missouri, the last 3 games, they've given up 94 points. And they've got to do a better job defensively in this game against Mississippi State it's one of those deals where they're just giving up too many easy baskets. And I witnessed it when they played Vanderbilt, and they had that game won, and they gave up a wide open 3. So they've got to do a better job defensively. And Mississippi State's kind of known for defense. I just like this matchup.
Is this where we apologize in advance? Because even though this is only day 2, we both feel like we've seen 1,000 games in the last 2 days.
Exactly.
So we'll go ahead and misidentify a team or two, but just bear with us. We'll eventually catch you up as we go along.
And now that it's 16 teams, it's what I call the meat grinder.
It is.
This league is probably something I've never seen before. Same with you. You look at these teams, and potentially if Oklahoma wins tonight, this SEC might get 14 teams in the NCAA tournament, which is unheard of.
It is indeed, and we both saw some lean years within the conference, but those days are very much in the rearview mirror. Missouri, the higher-seeded team, wearing the white. Mississippi State, not maroon, but black uniforms, as we see them wear quite often on the road. Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, veteran official, our lead referee, will stride to center court. He will put the ball in the air, and the tap is controlled in the backcourt to our left by the Bulldogs. And Riley Kugel will bring it to the front court to our right. He'll play off of a screen. He'll dump it inside into Nwoko, who tried to throw it down. Wouldn't go. Ball's tipped away, out of bounds, such last by Missouri. And we've already had a player popped in the face. It looked like Robinson holding his forehead right now as he inadvertently got hit maybe with the carom of that basketball. But regardless, it will belong to Mississippi State.
He's still holding his head. He got tagged.
Check for knuckles or a logo.
Yeah.
We'll know which it was.
That's exactly right.
So State will inbound it side court. Melendez getting it in to Nwoko. And now up top to Matthews. Great defender, but trips, slides, somehow kept a pivot cheek in place and unloads it outside to Kugel. He'll get into the paint outside Matthews, top of the arc, drives the lane right side, off the window, hangs on the rim and falls.
Well, they cannot let him do that right there, because what they've done is they've switched everything out front right there, and now all of a sudden you've got Little on Cam Matthews, and he just takes the basketball directly to the rim.
Smart move by official Bart Lennox, stopping play. We had bodies all over the deck during that last sequence. Go ahead and wipe the moisture up now, knowing full well that there's going to be some guys on skates if you don't handle it.
Well, he took a shot in the stomach right there on that drive.
So a 2-0 Mississippi State lead, 35 seconds into this one here in Nashville as the Tigers bring it front court to our left. Perkins trying to play off of the screen, goes down the lane left side, bounce pass into the corner, driving, stopping, they'll throw a bounce pass into the lane, and laying it up in off the window for 2 is Mitchell, and we've got a player down underneath the hoop for the Tigers. Trying to see who that is. I believe that is Pierce who is down. It is Trent Pierce, the sophomore, 6'10", 220 from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I think another midsection shot.
That's well said. It's one of those, they know he's injured. There's not a thing anybody can do for him right now. Just give him a little time. 19:09, the time to go here in the opening quarter of play. We got a 2-2 ball game between Mississippi State with possession and the Missouri Tigers. With Stewart alongside Tim Thompson. Glad you're with us here on the SEC Radio Network. Day number 2 of the tournament. First game of the evening session as the Dogs working to the top of the arc. Nwoko giving it off to Hubbard. He's trying to pivot away from a double team. Works it to Melendez into the right corner. They go to Kugel. He'll drive and dish to Melendez up top. With 3 to shoot, he'll fire. He'll miss off the front iron. Long rebound. Karam's to the wing. Run down by Pierce. And now Mizzou will bring it front court. It's Bates giving it off now to Perkins. Perkins directing traffic near the timeline far side. Gets it center of the floor. Kicks it over into the right corner. Bates for 3. Bottom.
Well, that's what they can do. They can shoot the basketball from the three-point line, but now you got to get back in transition if you're Missouri.
So a 5-2 advantage for Missouri as Matthews now will work against the Tiger defense. Throws it into the low post. We got a push and a foul that'll be called on Missouri. They'll whistle that one, I believe, on Bates, who got him.
Well, Chris, the key matchup really is Robinson on Hubbard, but what Missouri does on those high ball screens right there, they just switch everything, and that's what they're going to do to him. They're going to try to put a big guy, get up in his face, and they have to get out beyond the three-point line because he'll let it ride from 30 feet.
Inbounds pass challenge, but Hubbard able to secure it.
There it is.
State. That is the deep three that you can't let him have, but he did miss. The rebound, though, claimed by the Dogs. Melendez able to lay it off the window to cut the Missouri lead to 1. 5-4 ball game as we've got 17:52 ticking here in the opening half from Bridgestone. On the drive, stopping, stepping back, left wing. Robinson misses from 14, and the rebound on the weak side claimed by Kugel. He'll bring it ahead for Mississippi State. Riley Kugel trying to play off of a screen for Nwoko. Stops, kicks it onto the right wing. Hubbard driving, stepping back. Fall away for the baseline right side is good from 15 feet.
Well, he's one of those guys that is 5'10", but he's really strong. Interception right there by Mississippi State. Turnover.
They do get the steal with a 6-5 lead, and now we got a foul in the back court that's going to be called. Let's see what we got. Bart Lennox calling the foul on Robinson of Missouri. And I think they're going to go to the replay monitor and review this one.
That seems to be a frequent response to just about everything. Is the official standing in front of the replay monitor.
It drives us nuts unless you're the team that needs to have it reviewed.
Exactly.
And then you go, well, that's why it's there.
Well, I was commenting, Chris, on that last basket by Hubbard. He's one of those guys that's only 5'10", but he does a really great job of drive stepping, creating contact, get the defender moving backwards, and then he takes a little jump step back to create space, and he's a really good mid-range jump shooter.
So they're still taking a look at the multiple views, and I'll be honest, tough to tell for me initially what they were reviewing. At the moment, anyway, it's a 6-5 Mississippi State lead over Missouri. 17:22 to go in the opening half here at Bridgestone Arena. Day number 2 of SEC tournament action.
Well, the one thing that Missouri has to do, they have to do a good job on the defensive boards. They cannot afford to let Mississippi State get into a situation where they use those big bodies and get on the offensive glass and get second chance opportunities.
Chris Jans using the opportunity to talk with his team. Missouri's huddled. Collectively, they're 5 that are on the floor. Dennis Gates looking more at the scores table, though, to get word on what's going on.
After review, common foul on the floor stands.
So the foul was called on Robinson, his first, and team second on Missouri.
Well, I didn't see it. I saw that they were running the ball up the side court right here in front of me, and I did not see that.
From row 2, we were, well, you've got a fighting chance. I don't.
Blocked out.
Vertically challenged. On the wing, it's Kugel for Mississippi State. Dogs with a 1-point lead. Kugel on the drive inside the arc. Stops on the left wing. Looks, hounded defensively. Gives it off to Matthews. He flings it in the corner to Melendez, who goes baseline. Lost the handle. Got it back. Puts up the contested shot. Hits the side of the window. But a foul's going to be called on Missouri, and that's going to be on Robinson. So 2 on him, and they've come within about 35 seconds on the game clock.
Well, and Dennis Gates is talking to the official saying that was an offensive foul. He put his shoulder down and just ran over him, and I tend to agree with that a little bit.
Pleading his case with Jeb Hartness, the official on that side.
But now you got the 6th man of the year coming rolling into the game, and this young man can flat score the basketball.
Can he ever? Talking about Caleb Grill, the graduate transfer from Iowa State. He has had plus or 30 plus against Alabama, an impressive win for the Tigers over the Tide in Columbia earlier this year. Melendez hit the first free throw. Second one is good as well, and MJ Melendez has made it now a 8-5 advantage for the Bulldogs. Missouri with the basketball, 16:52 and moving. Time left opening half here in Nashville. They work it to Gurley, waste no time, putting up a three, misses strong, and the weak side rebound is controlled by Nwoko for the Dogs. Here comes State, front court, Matthews. He'll drive, he'll stop, he'll kick it back out to Kugel, who takes it to the corner. Kugel surveying the floor, fakes going baseline, kicks it back out high to Matthews. He'll play off the screen for Nwoko, goes to the elbow right side, spins, looks, needs help, fires the bounce pass to Kugel. Right baseline, his fall-away jumper's no good, rebound secured by Missouri. They'll throw an outlet pass in a hurry to Perkins. He'll drive in, lays it up, got it to go with a move by Tony Perkins to make it an 8-7 contest. Matthews hurrying the other way for Mississippi State as the Bulldogs lead it by 1. Nwoko at the top of the arc, pivots, hands it off to Hubbard. He wastes no time, putting up a three, won't go, but he's fouled, and he will have 3 free throws when we come back to Nashville. 15:58 remains in the opening half. It is an 8-7 Mississippi State advantage over Mizzou here on the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Cover 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Greenprint plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Severance Season 2 is now streaming on Apple TV+.
What you all did 5 months ago was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
Our message got out. We're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
What did you see?
My Audi's wife was Miss Casey.
So if you wouldn't find out what happened to her, I'll help.
She's still alive. I want to see my wife.
We should have left.
Severance. New season now streaming. Only on Apple TV+. Mercedes-Benz asks you this. What do elite athletes and luxury vehicles have in common? A winning drive for starters. Both are versatile, intelligent, and constantly innovating. Both navigate speed bumps and leave fans with goosebumps. And of course, only the best become stars. Mercedes-Benz, available in electric, gas, or plug-in hybrid. Discover uncompromising luxury at your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Learn more at MBUSA.com. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
While we've got a moment here in Nashville, why don't we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the SEC Radio Network. Alongside Tim Thompson, I'm Chris Stewart, back with you at Bridgestone Arena. It's the second day of the SEC men's basketball tournament. The Missouri Tigers taking on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. State the 10 seed here in Nashville. Missouri the 7. Two very, very good teams firmly entrenched in the NCAA tournament picture. This one doesn't matter in regards to next week. It means a lot to everybody that's still playing to try to get to this weekend.
Well, and the thing about it is, with these two teams, they're really playing for seeding at this point. Exactly. Both of them had great seasons, and you look at the stats right now, and the one thing that jumps out at me, Chris, is that 2 offensive rebounds by Mississippi State resulting in 4 second-chance opportunities, and I think that's the one thing that Missouri's got to do a better job of, is making sure they keep Mississippi State off the glass, especially the offensive glass.
It's amazing. For those of us that have been around the league for a long time, when you think of tough physical teams, Mississippi State is always among the first programs you think of. Chris Jans has been able to maintain that tradition, if you will, but do it with a more up-tempo pace. There were questions whether or not they could do it on both ends, but they certainly do, as Hubbard knocks down the first of 2 shots.
Well, and the guy at the free throw line, is a big reason why they're able to score some points, because he is just instant offense. Even though he's only 5'10", he's one of those guys that he can take it off the dribble. He can finish at the rim. He just got a knack of putting the basketball in the basket.
I have no problem going with him as the listed 5'11", as he makes 2 out of 3 for the free throw line, because he's a legit 5'11", which means I'm a legit 5'10".
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly. State with the lead 10-7, but Missouri with the basketball as they'll bring it to the top of the arc. Bates working it actually between the circles, looking left, giving it off onto the near wing to Mitchell. Now up top to Gray, who's checked in during the last dead ball. He will feed it over at the timeline. They fire a pass from one corner to the other. Then get Grill on the wing. He's off the mark. Rebound, though, controlled by Mizzou, and Perkins easily able to lay it in to make it a 1-point game. But State runs to the other end. Melendez missing the leader right at the rim, and the rebound secured by the Tigers. Here comes Missouri once again on the drive. Bates could get it to go, but draws the contact and the foul, and he will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, what we saw right there, just end-to-end basketball. Normally in old-time Mississippi State basketball, they're walking it up. I mean, they're pushing it up after makes, everything. It's transition basketball going both ways.
Earlier I'd said, I believe that Bates had 2 fouls. Actually, I guess we said Robinson. That's who does have 2, and he's on the bench right now. Bates, the lefty, shooting the first of 2 and knocking it home. He has 1 foul, Bates does, and I was looking at, wow, that's an aggressive move for a guy with 2 fouls, but he is only guilty of 1 so far, as Nwoko and Kugel check out of the game for Mississippi State. Among the new players checking in, Keyshawn Murphy out of Birmingham, Alabama's Ramsey High School, as Bates hits another and ties things up, or actually makes it an 11-10 lead for Missouri.
And I think Keyshawn Murphy for Mississippi State is maybe one of the most improved basketball players in the conference throughout the year.
State gets a lot from their bench, even though they're starting 5. Very capable, as they'll throw it on the wing to Melendez. He will work against Grill, trying to back his way down. Fires it to the elbow near side to Murphy. He tries a 15-footer. Rolls off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Gray. Outlet pass. Comes to the near side. Bringing it front court as Perkins plays off of the screen. Gets inside the arc. Goes down left side of the lane. Fall away jumper from 10. Rattles out. Pops back in. And now it is a 13-10 Missouri advantage over Mississippi State. A little 6-8-0 run going for them as they work it back to Melendez, far corner. His 3 is off the mark. Long rebound tipped out, though, and secured by Missouri. Tigers going to get front court. Bates stopping on the wing, handing it off to Grill, who weaves through traffic, and a reach-in foul is going to be whistled as Grill was making a move towards the basket.
Well, he gets in front of Melendez right there, and he gets him on his hindquarters, and then just slows up, creates the contact, and the official has to make the call.
So Missouri to inbound it for the baseline to the right of their own bucket with 14:19 to go. Here in the opening half, a 13-10 Missouri lead, and the Tigers have the basketball. Bates working against the defender. Great move. Gets to the rim. Lays it up again with the offhand.
A little up and under. Put a little spin on the basketball to get it over the rim.
Now here's Matthews the other way for State. Fires a pass into the corner. They work it to the elbow again, and Murphy. He'll pivot. Fires it over far side. Harris, a deep 3. Hits the back iron, no good. Rebound again secured by Gray of Missouri. And on the defensive end, he's taken over the last few possessions.
Well, he's the guy, in my opinion, has been a difference maker for Missouri. He's a transfer from South Carolina, and he gives them that big body. He does a great job of setting screens, rebounding the basketball, especially on the defensive end.
So the foul whistled on Jones of Mississippi State. Boy, he set a screen, Gray did, on Hubbard that previous trip. But Hubbard will wake up McCole Sweat thinking about that one later, I believe. So Missouri with the basketball and a 5-point lead. They work it inside. Great block from behind by Sean Jones. Out of bounds. Possession will stay with Missouri, but what a play on the help defense when it looked like an easy dunk was about to take place.
Well, Mitchell, they double-teamed Mitchell on the low post, and he really delivered a great pass, but great block from behind.
Tigers inbounded to Gray on the wing, fakes a pass, and then throws it away. No, they say it was deflected. Deflected out of bounds. Let's see. They're saying that it's Missouri Mississippi State basketball initially. Well, they're as confused as I am right now.
Missouri thinks it's Mississippi State's basketball, too. All the players walk to the other end right there.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying Bart Lennox is the only one that was on the floor that
knows that.
And he's the one that got the vote. He's going to give it back to Missouri right there. He had the far better angle than we did.
Tough place to bring it in right here.
It is, but they do get it in. Out high to Mitchell. Mitchell will drive down the lane, steps through, and lays it in. Tough play with the left hand, and that makes it a 7-point advantage. A 10-0 run now for Missouri in the last 2 minutes. State trying to end that run. They get it to Hubbard. Launches a 3. Bottom.
There you go. You got to get out of him on that high ball screen. I mean, he will let it ride from 30.
Missouri wasting no time, attacking on the other end. Fall-away shot from 12 feet missed by Bates, and the rebound secured by the Dogs, and they'll run the other way. Jones gives it up into the corner, gets a return pass from Harris. Now he'll fire it over to Hubbard. Lets it go from deep. Halfway down, popped out. Long rebound tipped and controlled by Mizzou. The Tigers running the other way. They'll go down the lane. They're looking for Grill, but instead spinning, shooting, and scoring in the paint on a nice move was Perkins for 2 more.
Well, he's really patient when he goes to the center of that lane right there, but now you got to get back in transition.
Matthews lost it on the way in, but touched last, they say, by Missouri. Quite the pace, not at all unexpected, as Bates will exit, and he will be replaced by, I believe, Jacob Cruz. Let's see. Yep, it is.
Yeah. Well, Missouri can probably go a little deeper into their bench than Mississippi State really right now, but again, Mississippi State's already played 1 game.
State's ball. Up, or down 6, I should say. Spinning, shooting, and missing with the right hand was Murphy, and the rebound's controlled by Missouri. They work it to Pierce on the near side. Got cut off trying to split defenders. Now they're going to have a drive and an offensive foul whistled on Mitchell. A nice job by Melendez getting in the way of the Missouri attacker, and that will allow possession to go back to Mississippi State.
Well, anytime you're going to draw a charge, you got to get squared up in front of the offensive player's body, and he did a really good job of squaring up, and it was an easy call for the official.
So Mizzou leads at 19-13 over Mississippi State here in Nashville, day number 2 of the SEC tournament. Bulldogs worked it to Murphy, had it poked away, got it back, feeds it off to Hubbard. He will drive to his right, and a hold is going to be called on the Tigers, and you have to respect him wherever he's going. Not only a great deep range shooter, but also able to get to the basket as well. Timeout on the floor with 11:53 to go in the opening half. It's 19-13. Missouri leading Mississippi State. Glad you're with us here on the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Back to Nashville for more SEC basketball action after this on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
Missouri's made 5 of their last 7 from the field. State ending a drought by knocking one down. That was their only bucket in their last 8 attempts. It's Missouri, not surprisingly, after telling those numbers, with a 19-13 lead. 11:53 to go in the opening half here at Bridgestone Arena. Day number 2 of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. The 7th-seeded Mizzou Tigers, the 10th-seeded Mississippi State Bulldogs. I'm Chris Stewart, alongside former SEC standout at Vanderbilt, Tim Thompson. Tim, pretty good pace, but not the best of execution on both sides so far.
Well, you look at Mississippi State shooting 28% from the field, 16% from the three-point line, and Missouri's 8 of 13. They're 61%. But really, the points in the paint kind of surprised me a little bit. You look at Mizzou with 12, and really that's, for the most part, it's been Tony Perkins. He's been able to get into the middle of the lane, done a really good job of being patient, having good footwork, and hitting some mid-range jump shots.
Out of the timeout, Missouri will bring Gray back on the floor along with Cruz. Also Marcus Warwick, Grill, and Pierce. State countering with Jones, Murphy, Harris, and the electric guard in Josh Hubbard as Melendez inbounded it. They work it to Jones, top of the key. 3-ball, rattles it in. Sean Jones Jr. knocking home the three-pointer and getting State back to within a bucket. It's 19-16. Missouri the ball in the lead. But Marcus Warren on the other end able to score with a layup and get a bucket back. Hubbard on the drive, stopping, looking, gives it off to Murphy. A little leaner from 8 feet, no good. Rebound fought for, scramble. Murphy gets it back, gives it off to a man cutting the basket, and Jones, or check that, it was Sean Jones again scoring. Back-to-back buckets for him for State.
And that was all about Murphy on the offensive rebounding right there.
So a 21-18 ball game now with 11 minutes to play in the first half. Missouri leading Mississippi State. Tigers with the ball. Warwick stopping at the free throw line. Bounce pass inside to Gray. Spins into a double team. Tried to muscle his way through it, but a jump ball is going to be called. The arrow favors the Tigers. If he spins left, or spins to his right, excuse me, he may have had an easy layup. Instead, he spun right into the double team.
Well, he mishandled the pass. It was a little low for him, and he kind of bobbled the pass. Now it's a lob over the top.
They inbounded to Pierce, but a whistle and a foul is going to be called on Melendez. Definitely a size advantage there for Missouri and Trent Pierce at 6'10". Melendez listed at 6'7", and he'll check out of the game after picking up the foul. Mizzou inbounding it into the corner. 3 up, no good by Cruz, and then a rebounding foul. No, they're just going to say knocked that out of bounds, touch last by Grill in Missouri. So possession will go back to Mississippi State at the 10:47 mark of this opening half. Good ball game, 21-18. 7th-seeded Missouri leading the 10th-seeded Mississippi State Bulldogs. Missouri 21st in the country. Mississippi State falling out of the top 25 this week. As Harris will give it up to Murphy, takes it top of the arc, gives it off to Kugel. A deep 3, that is well short and left of the target. And that one sails out of bounds. Didn't get blocked, just misalignment on that one.
Well, he had a couple threes last night against South Carolina, and it was one of those deals where, he started playing a little bit better, but he's one of those guys that has to play probably more in the mid-range than at the three-point line.
So Missouri with Warwick throwing a pass right side, but deflected and stolen by Jones. Great feed to Murphy, spinning in the lane. He'll put it up, off the window, no. Rebound tipped and controlled by Gray again for Missouri. Missed opportunity for the Dogs as Pierce on the other end tries the 3. Count it, and he is fouled.
And you could hear that slap all the way up here. And it's one of those things, that's the way that Dennis Gates plays. He wants to give these guys freedom in that transition, and you catch and shoot on that at that 3 ball. Really a confident shot that time by Pierce.
So the foul whistled on Kugel, and that'll be his first. On Mississippi State, it'll be the team 5th. Missouri's been whistled for 6. here in the first half. We are almost exactly at the midway point. 10:01 to be exact here in the opening half of play. And the and one making it a 4-point trip for Missouri. Building that lead to 7 now. Their biggest, or matching their biggest here in the opening half. Hubbard with it. Fires a pass to Nwoko at the free throw line. He'll spin in the lane. Wow. Scoring over Grill, who took an elbow to the Grill inadvertently in the process.
That was a little bit of a mismatch right there.
Grill gives it back out to Warwick. Warwick on the drive, stopping, looking, spinning, almost a jump ball. Instead, it's an errant pass and a turnover. But credit Hubbard. His defense, even though he didn't get the tie-up, is really what forced that turnover.
Well, it was almost a jump ball right there. And really what happened is he over-penetrated. You know, it's one of those things where a guy that is a decent mid-range jump shooter, and all of a sudden he takes an extra dribble, gets himself into trouble. If he pulls up about that 8 feet, he's got a wide open look.
So with 9:33 to go, first half action here at Bridgestone Arena, the 4th turnover of the first half by Missouri. Gives it to Mississippi State. Dogs trailing by 5. Haven't turned it over yet, though. Hubbard with the basketball far wing, dribbling away from trouble to Matthews into the far corner. 3 ball is up and no good by Harris, and the long rebound controlled by the Tigers. They push it ahead, going down the lane, missing the dunk, but having it blocked out of bounds was the Tigers' Perkins. And man, Tony Perkins elevated and was trying his best to throw that one home, but had it knocked away just before he got to the rim.
Well, Mississippi State's got to do a better job of getting back in transition. Missouri, on those missed shots, they're pushing it in transition and then taking it straight to the rack.
So Mizzou to inbound it from the baseline. They get it on the wing near side to Pierce. Pierce goes to his left on the baseline. Double team, fires the skip pass into the far corner. They dump it back to a guard, and taking it to the wing with the dribble is Perkins. Perkins with 10 to shoot, a bounce pass. Around on the near side, they go to Bates. His 3 pops out no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds, touch last by Missouri. There was good hustle on the part of Mitchell, but he was not able to secure it for the Tigers, and possession will go back to Mississippi State. 25-20. Missouri leading the Bulldogs of Mississippi State with 8:44 and ticking. Time left opening half. Delquan Moore into the ball game for State, giving it up to Harris now. Takes it to the far wing, brings it center of the floor, fires the pass too hot, intended for Nwoko, off his fingertips and out of bounds, and possession will go to Missouri after what is officially the first turnover by the Dogs.
Well, that's a great pass, but what you got to do is you got to lob that thing. You got to just take it to the rim and let the big man go up and take it to the rim.
Mizzou works it onto the right side, spinning, shooting with the left hand, and scoring over a defender is Mitchell. He was also fouled, and he will go to the line for a chance at an and one opportunity for the Mizzou Tigers.
Well, Chris, he's a lefty, but what he does is he takes that drive with his right hand, knowing that he's going to come back and spin to the left and use his left hand. Really a nice play that time by Mitchell.
Why is it so tough for a defender against a lefty? Yeah. Even when you know, and even though it's not as rare as it used to be, but it seems like lefties still have an advantage.
They do. It's amazing how, you say, oh, that he's a lefty, get in front of his left hand and stop him, and you just don't do it.
So the and one converted by Mitchell. He's got 7 points here in the opening half. Mitchell, a 67% free throw shooter on the year, is now State will bring it back ahead, trailing by 8. Biggest lead of the first half for Missouri, as Kugel back in the game, drives, throws it up towards the rim. It would go. I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot. Neither was executed properly, and now Pierce on the other end deflects it into the hands of a teammate in the corner. Driving, stopping, and getting tied up on the play was Warwick, and that jump ball is going to result in a possession change to Mississippi State when we come back. Bulldogs will have the ball at the 7:57 mark, but it's Missouri that has the lead, 28-20. Day number 2 of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament in Nashville on the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Where champions are crowned. This is the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a farm-rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with Meemaw.
While this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
Josh Hubbard, 7 points, 5 from Sean Jones Jr. leading Mississippi State, but 8 from Tony Perkins, 7 each from Mark Mitchell and Tamar Bates leading Missouri, who leads Mississippi State 28-20 at the 7:57 mark, as I finally found the clock here. Iowa Bridgestone Arena. I'm Chris Stewart alongside Tim Thompson here in the opening half.
Well, the one thing that you were worried about if you were, a Missouri fan is the offensive rebounding by Mississippi State, but that's kind of stopped. They've done a really good job of keeping Mississippi State off the offensive glass, and now the rebounding. You look, Missouri has 16 rebounds to Mississippi State's 8, but again, part of that is Missouri is shooting the basketball at a 57% clip.
Hubbard 2 of 4. He's 1 of 3 from three-point range. Again, he is capable, though, of going off at any moment.
Well, he's one of those guys that he can knock down 12 points on you just in a hurry because he shoots it from deep. He shoots 3 at a consistent level. But, again, when he's out of the game, they're a different team. They really struggle offensively when he's not leading the charge from that point position.
Teams ready to break their huddles now, as the Bulldogs will have Matthews on the floor along with Murphy, Hubbard. I believe Harris is out there. Or is he?
I think it's Kugel and Jones.
I think you're right. Yeah. They are the other two. And Missouri countering with Bates, Warwick, Pierce, Perkins, and Mitchell.
And I almost didn't recognize Mitchell. He got a haircut since we played him, and it's a really, really short hair.
They should give us warning about those.
Yeah, that's right.
Hubbard will feed it to Matthews for Mississippi State. Matthews driving, dishing it into the far corner. 3 up and missed by Jones. In the weak side rebound controlled by Pierce of Missouri. Tigers front court now with Bates. Bates looking onto the right wing, feeding it off to Perkins. Perkins surveying the floor. Going to his right with a dribble a couple of times. Shot clock down to 10 as he fires a pass near side. Mitchell on the wing. 8 to shoot. Mitchell had it poked away, got it back, double team, and then taken away. Here is Jones with it for Mississippi State. To Hubbard, who thought about a 3. Drives to the corner instead. Hesitates, stops, throws it all the way over on the far side. Kugel. Around they work it to Matthews. Back to Kugel, and then deflected out of bounds on the quick hands of Tony Perkins.
Chris, it's amazing how defenses are now. It's almost like everyone is so athletic that you don't have to really guard your own man. You just switch everything at the perimeter.
It looked like zone.
Yeah, it's almost like a matchup zone. It's man-to-man tendencies, but it's amazing how people do that. And unless you have a guy that can really penetrate off the perimeter and just break a guy down off a dribble, you're in trouble.
So Missouri, they'll get Warwick out of the game and bring Grill back in. Driving right side, Murphy fires the pass into the far corner. They get it to Matthews now from the wing. He'll drive to the block left side. Off the window and in. Grill whistled for the foul, and an and one opportunity upcoming for Mississippi State.
But when I say that, when you start to switch everything, and now all of a sudden you got Cameron Matthews on Caleb Grill, 6'9" against maybe 6'3", 6'4", it's a complete mismatch, and he just took him to the rim.
So Matthews at the stripe for the Bulldogs. Not able to convert. Ball tipped high into the air and then tipped out of bounds. Touched last by Mississippi State. Matthews, only a 50% free throw shooter on the season. And Tigers of Missouri, a 28-22 advantage as they work it against a double team, then feed it off onto the right side. Now into the near corner, Bates to Grill. His three contested and hits the rim, hits the top of the glass, and is no good. Grill can come in as a microwave, but he is 0 for 3 from deep to start.
And that was a really good contest that time defensively, and a situation where he's not making shots from the perimeter. I don't know. You almost have to get him out of the game from a defensive standpoint.
To answer the question to Tim Brickford, that was not planned. I said Drill and already had microwave in the works. Three in the corner, up and good for Mississippi State. It was Jones who buried it with 6:18 to go. It's back to a 3-point game. Bulldog fans making a little noise as they've made their way from Starkville. Inside, reverse layup, missed by Missouri and Mitchell, and here come the Bulldogs the other way. A three from Hubbard could tie it. He won't take one, though. He'll drive in, put up a teardrop from 3 feet away. Missed it. Rebound putback is good, though, by State, and a timeout is going to be called by Missouri and their head coach, Dennis Gates.
It looks like Mitchell might be injured a little bit on that play. He's walking to the end of the bench.
It'll be a 30-second timeout, and we'll keep it right here. As we saw a little of the explosiveness from Mississippi State, but again, it's not all from three-point range, and that's part of what makes Hubbard so dangerous is the fact that he can get to the rim, but it also helps when other guys like Sean Jones Jr. can knock one down from deep.
Yeah, if he gets help from the three-point line, Mississippi State's a dangerous team. But really, what Mississippi State has done over the last couple minutes has been a result of the defensive end. They've done a really good job, Missouri, on the defensive end. And now, I think Gates is bringing Robinson back in the game, even though he's got 2 fouls. I think he feels like he needs him back in the game from a defensive standpoint.
So Grill, Pierce, Bates.
I say that, and I think he's standing on the sidelines. They may not bring. They brought Perkins back in.
Yep. And Gray is the 5th on the floor for Mizzou. Mississippi State countering with Melendez, Jones, Murphy, Matthews, and Hubbard. Hubbard will pick up the man with the basketball front court. That's Perkins. He'll bring it to the center of the floor, then fires the pass right side. Pierce goes baseline, dumps it back out onto the wing. Driving baseline is Perkins. Lost the handle. Saved initially by Mississippi State. Threw it off of a Mizzou player, but they say that the Bulldog was on the baseline at the time. I believe that was Jones.
Yeah, I think
and
right.
It was. So Mizzou will inbound it from the baseline. Trying to get it in, deflected and stolen by the Dogs.
Boy, just bad passing on inbounds plays right here.
Here's Matthews with it for State, trying to regain the lead. They'll throw it away as they had a man cutting the basket in Kugel. Matthews thought he was going to set up shop there in three-point range. Instead, they turn it over to the Dogs for just the second time tonight. And Missouri will have a chance to add to their 28-27 advantage. Under 5.5 minutes to go before the halftime break. Teams trying to advance to the quarterfinals tomorrow here at the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. State, or Mizzou with the basketball, actually. They work it inside, but it's knocked away and stolen. Murphy stealing the pass by Grill, and now here's Matthews for the Bulldogs. Matthews reversing back to Hubbard. Wastes no time, putting up a shot. Missed the three, though. Rebound by State. Shot attempt blocked. And then a foul is going to be whistled on Missouri.
Chris, I tell you what, you better put your big boy pants on when you go down low in the block right there, because Murphy just cleared out on that offensive rebound, created the contact for the foul.
Big boy pants and a Kevlar vest.
Yeah,
may be needed.
Exactly.
So Murphy will go to the stripe after the foul was called on Gray. That'll be his first. And the 8th team foul on Mizzou. State's been called for 6 so far. Are they going to review this?
They're going to review something. I think Matthews has some blood on his knee, and I think that's what they're going to do.
Got to make sure that is removed, and they have.
Well, Missouri's not done a very good job of protecting the basketball just in their half court. I mean, they've turned the ball over a few times here recently, and Mississippi State has taken advantage of those turnovers.
State causes that quite often, though, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably one of the best teams that guard high ball screens coming off the wing that I think I've seen in the league.
So Murphy at the stripe for Mississippi State. A pair of shots upcoming. And he'll miss the first. Just below 60% on the year from the stripe.
And you wonder a little bit with Mississippi State playing last night, you wonder if maybe fatigue starts to set in a little bit. We're at 4:54 in the first half. And, you know, again, you play back-to-back nights. That's really stressful.
We also see it where the team that played the night before is sometimes sharper in the first half than the team that's seeing its first action, as is the case for Missouri, as Murphy knocks down 1 of 2. Missouri's turned it over 4 times in the last 3.5 minutes. To Tim's point just a moment ago, they haven't scored in 3.5 minutes. And now State trying to get a stop and maybe add to their 9-0 run. Tigers working into the left corner, stepping to his right, firing and knocking down the 3 is Bates to end that drought for Mizzou. Harris the other way for the Bulldogs, and a kickball by Cruz will give it back to Mississippi State. 31-28, Missouri back on top. That tie did not last very long.
Well, Mississippi State went into a 2-3 zone that time, and really Missouri did a great job of recognizing it and getting it to the baseline where you get a wide open 3.
Matthews with it, directing traffic. Fires it onto the wing. Murphy gets into the lane, gets to the rim, lays it up, hit in for 2.
Tell you what, he's improved so much, in my opinion. I mean, he's one of those guys that has gotten better offensively. He's always been a good defender and a rebounder.
Perkins trying to shake free, kicks it into the corner to Cruz. Cruz stops, picks it up, needs help. Pivots, looks, lost it. Ball knocked away, out of bounds, touched last by Matthews. Couldn't control it, but boy, his active hands there really creating some chaos for Missouri. A 1-point Tiger lead as we've come to the final media timeout of the first half. 3:58 to go before the break. 31-30. Missouri leading Mississippi State here on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
Live from Nashville, this is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Along with Tim Thompson, I'm Chris Stewart, the gravelly voice. My apologies. Chris Stewart back with you here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville as Mississippi State and Missouri have the first game of the evening session tonight. Missouri holding on to a 31-30 advantage, struggling, hanging on to the basketball. 4 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes.
Well, that's the one thing you can't do. Jacob Cruz had the basketball on the wing right there, and he took one dribble and then picks it up on the sidelines. And to your point, you use that sideline as an extra defender, and then he gets double teamed, and he was lucky. They were lucky to get the basketball back. But, you know, one of the stats that jumps out at me right now is fast break points. You got Mizzou with 10. And as fast as Mississippi State has played, they just don't have any fast break points.
They've had definitely opportunities. But give Missouri credit, they've also gotten back at a rapid rate defensively to make sure that wasn't an easy, or anything in transition has not been easy, I should say, for the Bulldogs.
Well, and those 8 turnovers that Missouri has had is really, they've really kept Mississippi State in the game, in my opinion, here with 3:58 left.
So out of the timeout, Mizzou will get Robinson back on the floor. He got 2 fouls very early in this first half, but comes back in with 3:58 to go on the offensive end. As Grill will get it into Gray. 8 to shoot. He drives right at the rim, tried to dunk it, had it blocked, and here comes State the other way. Dogs work it into the corner, stepping back now. Harris from the wing misses the 3. Awkward rebound caroms off, and it's controlled by Mizzou. They work it onto the wing, the 3. Oh, wow. And good. Cruz buried that one.
Man, I tell you what, that was a tough shot right there, Chris. Catch and shoot from the 3.
Dogs work it inside to Murphy. Spins right around the defender. Bates had a size advantage and took advantage there to make it once again a 2-point game. 34-32 Mizzou, and it almost changed in a hurry as Cruz missed another 3 attempt and State clears it. Here come the Bulldogs with Harris front court to our right.
A little bit of a heat check right there by Cruz.
He'll do that. He will definitely do that. Hubbard on the near wing, defended by Cruz. Tries to go to his right and got tangled up with Cruz, who goes, wait a minute, he grabbed my arm.
He did. He just grabbed his arm and pulled him.
The official, Jeb Harness.
And they're saying go to the monitor and look at this, maybe like a hook and hold. And I believe he did that.
That was a hook, hold, and drag it with you until you blow the whistle.
They blew the foul on Cruz, and he was being drugged down the sidelines by Hubbard.
It was a bit of an odd play, to say the very least. We're going to get a look at it on replay here in just a second ourselves, as the television monitors about 30 seconds behind or more what is actual game time. So we'll check out Hubbard and see if he's either made of Velcro or he latched on pretty well. I'll put it that way.
Well, Cruz had his arm extended kind of over the top of him, and Hubbard saw that. So what he did is he just kind of hooked it up and just kind of pulled him along, and the official kind of had a bad angle at it.
Yeah.
But right there, you've got it. He reaches down, and all of a sudden, here he comes. He grabs his arm and just holds it.
That'll be interesting on the review, and it didn't take them very long. Let's see what they go with.
I didn't hear what he said.
I think it
was a hook and hold.
I think he went common foul on Mizzou. And Dennis Gates is not going to be real happy with that.
Well, neither is Jacob Cruz.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The contact initially was made by Cruz, but the extended contact was because Hubbard would turn him loose.
The look on Jacob Cruz's face when he was being drugged down the sidelines.
Yeah. Free throw up, and some would say ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. I can tell you that right now.
Hubbard, a really good shooter, misses the front end of the 1-and-1. So Missouri with the ball and a 2-point lead with under 3 minutes to go in the half. Cruz for three. Has that one rim out. Gray had good rebounding position but couldn't hang on to it as he was being challenged by Murphy. And the ball goes out of bounds, touched last by Missouri.
Well, Cruz is one of those guys that he'll extend your defense. I mean, he'll shoot the basketball from 2 or 3 steps outside the three-point line, so you got to know where he is.
So a change for Chris Jans and Mississippi State as he will bring Claudell Harris Jr. to the bench and get Sean Jones Jr. back in. Mississippi State basketball trailing 34-32. 2 minutes, 40 seconds and moving. Time left here in the opening half. Matthews with it front court. Had it poked away, scrambled, deflected into the hands of a teammate. They'll work it down low, Will State. They'll give it off to Murphy. Lays it up and in for two. About 5 guys touch it before I can tell you who they were.
And that's just a situation where you throw the basketball up to Murphy and he just bails you out.
So a tie game again, 34 all with 2:15 to play. Grill trying to step back, gives it off. Cruz thought about a three and said he'll pivot, dribble, and then give it off once more. Perkins with it on the far wing, dribbling away from trouble. Had it poked away into the hands of Grill. Lets it go from midcourt. Hits it off the back of the iron. Rebounded Gray. Spins, shoots, no good, but he is fouled. Stopping the clock with 1:52 to go in the half. And the Tigers trying to once again regain the lead. That was not exactly the way it was drawn up by Dennis Gates.
But you got to give Grill a lot of credit. You know, that's senior leadership right there. He realizes and he sees the clock running down, so he just tries to get it on the rim, and then Josh Gray does a great job of offensive rebounding right there and draws the foul.
It's also his usual range when he's
that is true.
In the gym is normally his desired spot when he's had it go through the net, but it hasn't so far in this opening half as Gray misses the first of 2 attempts. First miss on 5 tries from Missouri at the line in the game so far.
Always interested in the way that these guys wear their shoes. And Josh Gray's got a black shoe on the left foot and a white shoe on the right foot.
He's got a matching pair with it in his locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
Second free throw missed as well. And the rebound's controlled by Murphy in Mississippi State. He'll give it to Hubbard, who walks in front court. And the Dogs, who have trailed the majority of this half, could take the lead with 1:42 to go before intermission. Kugel on the far wing, working against Cruz, pulls up from 15, shoots at 14, and the rebound's controlled in the corner by Gray of Missouri. So the Tigers will try to go back on top with under 90 seconds to go in the half. Grill between the circles, around near side. Once more to Perkins, up top to Gray. Gray throwing it to Grill, or trying to. Boy, that was a high-risk, low-reward pass right there to Grill. Hubbard was in good position, and I'm not really sure what Grill was going to be able to do with it, even if he makes the catch.
And he was trying to fade off that screen right there, and Josh Gray just read it wrong, threw it behind him for the turnover.
So 1:12 and moving. Time left first half. State with the basketball. Again, a tie game at 34. Matthews looking left. Gives it off. Jones now over to Murphy. Murphy driving into the lane. Steps through. Off the glass, no. Rebound tip twice. Out of bounds. Touch last by Missouri. So a reset to 20 on the shot clock. 57.3 on the game clock. State once again with possession underneath.
Well, Murphy, he realizes just the...
Inside, they'll work it to Jones. Shot blocked by Gray. Out of bounds again. Touch last by Missouri. And the Tigers pleading their case that the ball should belong to them.
Chris, I can't tell you, the amount of contact that's out there is amazing.
Yeah. The ball was fought for. Inbounded now, they say, to State. Underneath is Murphy. Tried to throw it onto the wing, and the ball's deflected and stolen by Mizzou. Ahead they go to Bates, and he throws it in with the left hand.
Wow, really nice pass that time by Perkins.
Bates with a finish, giving Missouri the lead again. Here's Hubbard the other way. His runner is blocked out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Dogs with 34 seconds to go in the half. 23 on the possession, and a 36-34 Missouri advantage.
Well, that was a heck of a play by Tony Perkins right there on that block. He timed it perfectly.
Timeout, Chris Jans and Mississippi State talking things over. Jans, I don't think very happy with Hubbard right there, as we remind you that last block, today's All-State Good Hands play of the game. You're in good hands with All-State.
Well, I think this is the 32nd right here. We've got 34 seconds left for halftime, and
the use it or lose it timeout.
Use it or lose it timeout right here. So
what do you go with, Coach?
Gosh, the way that Missouri's switching everything, I think you go to Murphy. Get a switch right there and get him against a little guy, and then just take him off the dribble and just back him down low.
He's their leading scorer in the half with 9. You've also got Hubbard a little off by his standards. He's only 2 of 7 from the field and 2 of 4 from the free throw line.
Well, on this set right here, what they're going to do, they're going to do an elevator screen where they're going to just like close it off and fade Hubbard back. There he goes if he lobs it long.
Well, they never really got that started. It got deflected on the inbounds, but they didn't exactly break very crisply, did they? So Hubbard will inbound it from the baseline. Or Matthews will now.
Well, you've got Hubbard on the opposite wing right now. And usually he fades to the baseline right there to see if he can get a baseline look.
Matthews trying to get it in, does get it to Hubbard to the corner. Pogo stick up short on the jumper, and the rebound controlled by Gray. Shot clock is dark. Game clock is at 25 seconds, and Dennis Gates says, let's hold it for 1. Missouri looks like they're going to try to do just that with Perkins backing it out to the timeline near side. 2-point Tiger lead, 36-34. They want to make sure they go to the locker room no worse than up by a pair, as Perkins works with 7 at 6 to play in the half. Now at 5, Perkins on the drive, kicks it onto the wing. Grill for 3. Knocks it home as the half ends. And that will make it a 39-34 Missouri advantage. They led by as many as 8. They trailed by 3 very early, but they pushed that lead back up to 5 at halftime. And Tim Thompson, pretty entertaining half of basketball.
Yeah, really good basketball. That time, Tony Perkins took the basketball. He did not over-penetrate, kind of stopped at the top of the circle. Caleb Grill's a guy that moves great without the basketball, and he kind of faded down the wing a little bit, delivered a pass for a wide-open 3 to close it out, 39-34.
5-point advantage for Mizzou. Phil Brames got you covered at the half. We're back with more from Nashville here on the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown!
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. But we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
Mercedes-Benz asks you this. What do elite athletes and luxury vehicles have in common? A winning drive, for starters. Both are versatile, intelligent, and constantly innovating. Both navigate speed bumps and leave fans with goosebumps. And of course, only the best become stars. Mercedes-Benz, available in electric, gas, or plug-in hybrid. Discover uncompromising luxury at your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Learn more at MBUSA.com. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another three. He'll make another three.
On the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, you know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Severance Season 2 is now streaming on Apple TV+.
What you all did 5 months ago was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
Our message got out. We're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
What did you see?
My Audie's wife was Miss Casey.
If you wouldn't find out what happened to her, I'll help.
She's still alive. I want to see my wife.
We should have left.
Severance. New season now streaming. Only on Apple TV+.
With 20 minutes in the books, it's halftime on the SEC Radio Network. Brought to you by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Stats, analysis, and scores are all coming up. Now back to Nashville.
Halftime here in game number 3, day 2, as we try to figure out who's going to play in quarterfinal Friday. Mizzou and Mississippi State with a halftime score of the 7th-seeded Tigers on top of the 10th-seed Bulldogs, 39-35. Phil Brain back with you courtside here at Bridgestone. Let's go ahead and listen back to some of the first-half highlights. Had a back-and-forth opening few minutes. 3 early lead changes, but it would be Mizzou to take control first through Tony Perkins.
Bringing it front court as Perkins plays off of the screen, gets inside the arc, goes down left side of the lane, fall away jumper from 10, rattles out, pops back in, and now it is a 13-10 Missouri advantage over Mississippi State. A little 6-8-0 run going for them.
Perkins with back-to-back field goals, and that would push the Tigers out to a 17-10 advantage as they scored 10 straight points. So what would Mississippi State do? Pretty easy guess who they would turn to try to stop an offensive drought.
State trying to end that run. They get it to Hubbard, launches a 3, bottom.
There you go. You got to get out of him on that high ball screen. I mean, he will let it ride from 30.
State within 4 after that three-pointer from Josh Hubbard. 17-13 with 13 minutes to go, as Mississippi State was just 3 of 11 from the field to open the game prior to that triple. That deficit would shrink all the way to just 3 points at 21-18, and that was near the midway point of the half before a pair of and ones for Mizzou would give the 7th seed some much-needed breathing room.
Rebound tipped and controlled by Gray again for Missouri. Missed opportunity for the Dogs as Pierce on the other end tries the 3, count it, and he is fouled.
And you could hear that slap all the way up here.
Mizzou works it onto the right side, spinning, shooting with the left hand, and scoring over a defender is Mitchell. He was also fouled, and he will go to the line for a chance at an and one opportunity for the Mizzou Tigers.
Well, Chris, he's a lefty, but what he does is he takes that drive with his right hand, knowing that he's going to come back and spin to the left and use his left hand. Really a nice play that time by Mitchell.
28-20 Tigers with 8 to play till the break. That was the largest lead of the half, and it would be short-lived. State would come roaring back over the next 3 minutes.
Here come the Bulldogs the other way. A 3 from Hubbard could tie it. He won't take one, though. He'll drive in, put up a teardrop from 3 feet away. Missed it. Rebound putback is good, though, by State, and a timeout is going to be called by Missouri and their head coach, Dennis Gates.
Keyshawn Murphy with the stick back, part of 9 second-chance points for the Bulldogs in the first half. 28-27, State was within 1, but Mizzou would answer with a run of their own to close the half. State went cold from the field over the final 2+ minutes. Mizzou would dial up long distance as the first half came to a close.
Perkins works with 7 at 6 to play in the half. Now at 5, Perkins on the drive, kicks it onto the wing. Grill for 3. Knocks it home as the half ends. And that will make it a 39-34 Missouri advantage.
5 points, the Tiger lead at the break. We will go ahead and relive some of the exciting action from earlier today in Bridgestone. Exciting, probably underselling what we saw through the first two games. Again, our halftime score in Game 3, Mizzou 39, Mississippi State 34. But we got to tell you about the wins for Texas and Ole Miss. We'll do so on the other side of this timeout.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
You're listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network. Time now for the Regions Scoreboard Update. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Before we get you that scoreboard, rejoin stations. We owe you 10 for an ID. 8 o'clock here in Nashville. Let's take 10 seconds on the SEC Radio Network. (39-34), Missouri leads Mississippi State. Game 3, we've still got Oklahoma and Kentucky coming up later. Phil Brame back with you. If you missed what happened earlier today at Bridgestone, the broad 3 seed Alabama in the Friday night nightcap. Again, 20 minutes to go in this one. Mizzou and Mississippi State. Tigers over the Bulldogs by 5, and we'll start the second 20 minutes after you hear these messages.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Back to Nashville for more SEC basketball action after this on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field. But today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
Back here in Nashville, just about set to go for the second 20 minutes. Mizzou 39, Mississippi State 34. That's our halftime scores. We take a look at some of the numbers from the first half presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. 39-34 again, Mizzou over Mississippi State. It's Bates lead the Tigers with a first half dozen. He's the only player in double figures. Leading scorer for Mississippi State is Keyshawn Murphy. He has 9. But as a team, Mizzou shooting better than 50% from the floor at 15 of 29. Tigers just 5 of 13 from downtown, 38%, 4 of 6 at the free throw line. Meanwhile, Mississippi State, they've left a few at the stripe, going 5 of 9. They've also left a few from downtown at 3 of 14. Again, for the game, Mizzou out shooting Mississippi State 42%, 35%. A couple of the other numbers, though, State staying in this one because of turnovers. They've forced 9 while committing just 3. Mizzou, the better of it on the backboards, 23-18. But as we bring Chris Stewart and Tim Thompson back in for the start of the second half, fellas, turnovers and second chance points will kill you in basketball, and that's really one of the few bugaboos for Mizzou in that half. They've been out-rebounded on the offensive glass by State 8-4 and a 9-4 advantage in second chance points for the Bulldogs.
Well, that makes a huge difference, and I thought Missouri did a really good job on Josh Hubbard. He was only 1 for 5 from the three-point line, and Mississippi State as a team was 3 for 14. But Tamir Bates, I thought he was really, really good. He had 12 points. And Tony Perkins, I thought he was excellent in running the point and leading the team. I mean, he delivered a great pass to Caleb Grill for that wide open 3 going into the halftime.
How big was it that they got to the break up 5, especially with Tony Robinson only playing 6.5 minutes in the first half? Well, foul trouble.
He got those 2 early fouls, and they took him out right at the beginning of the game. And, he's the kind of their defensive stopper. And, the other guys stepped up and did a really good job of switching out on Hubbard and putting him in a situation where, he's a volume shooter. And, you look at him right now, and he's 2 of 8. He shot the ball 8 times, but he's only got 7 points.
Right. And that is a low volume for him.
That's a low volume. Exactly.
Missouri will get the ball first to begin half number 2. Again, the Tigers, the higher seeded team, is the 7, wearing the white uniforms. And State wearing black tonight. They are the 10 seed. Waiting to get the go-ahead from Bart Lennox, the official with the basketball directly in front of us. It'll be Pierce to trigger it in for Mizzou. It's trying to get their 22nd win on the year. Mississippi State, after going 8-10 in the league, 21-11 overall in Chris Jan's 3rd year. It's Dennis Gates' 3rd season as well as the head coach in Columbia Mo. Here is Perkins throwing the lob towards the rim, but it was off the mark, deflected away and stolen by State. They'll bring it front court. Working it around into the left corner. Back onto the wing. Kugel for three. No good. Rebound. Matthews needs help underneath. He'll fire it back outside. Melendez, the open three. Count it. And he is fouled.
And Josh Gray was late getting back down the court after that missed lob. And then he makes the big mistake of fouling a three-point shooter.
So a great opportunity for Mississippi State. A 4-point possession, perhaps, after getting a stop on the defensive end to begin the half.
Well, that lob play to Josh Gray, he's big, but he's not that athletic, and it was a little off target.
Melendez free throw off target as well. Rolls off, rebounded by Gray, and now Mizzou will have it in the front court. They lead 39-37. Grill, who didn't start the game, will start the second half. He almost picked up where he left off. He missed a three there, but the putback good for two by Bates, and Mizzou goes back up by 4. Grill hit a three at the end of the half, his first make from the field. They're trying to build off of what he did earlier. Is in the paint, missing it is Nwoko. Rebound claimed by Gray, and then he gets clocked by Nwoko, who's going after the basketball, but inadvertently clubbed him with an elbow.
Well, missing here starting in the second half is Mark Mitchell. I mean, he's out. I saw him get hurt, and it looked like it was a midsection injury right now.
Mitchell, great improvement from last year. Had 30 on Alabama. Here's Perkins with the basketball. Driving, feeding it onto the near wing. Pass deflected by Kugel out of bounds on the attempt by Pierce to throw it from the right baseline to the left corner.
Well, and the thing about playing Josh Gray right now, he matches up better with Mississippi State personnel probably than Mitchell does, because he's such a big body and he just creates space and is able to rebound the basketball.
So Mizzou to inbound and underneath, leading 41-37, 18:44 to play in this contest. Bates will bring it ahead, playing off of the screen, looks, fires it on the far side to Pierce. He'll drive, looking, needs help, deflected out of bounds, touched last by the Bulldogs.
Well, you got 3 seconds left on the shot clock right now. They threw that deep backcourt pass on the inbounds with 12 seconds left, and now you got to understand how much time is left. There it is.
They get it in the corner. Grill for three. No good. He was the inbounder on the play. A scramble for the loose ball, and coming out with it is Hubbard for State. Ahead to Kugel on the left wing. Skip pass, Melendez. Bad pass to Hubbard on the wing. Hubbard somehow able to retrieve it. Now brings it center of the floor to Matthews on the wing, to the top of the arc, and Murphy. Murphy, a couple of dribbles to his left, gets to the low block. Spins to his right, stops, looks. Bad pass intended for Matthews, who somehow deflected it to Kugel. He tried to hand it off into the hands of Murphy, puts it up and in. Boy, that was a train wreck that worked out right.
Boy, that was scattered offense right there, wasn't it?
Here now, Missouri driving, losing the handle, and State will take it away. They fire it ahead to Melendez, left corner. Now to Hubbard. He'll split defenders, gets into the lane, off the glass and in.
Boy, that's a tough shot right there, Chris. I mean, you're going left. You're going to shoot it over the top of a 6'8" man, and just a nice soft touch off the glass.
Hubbard now with 9. A tie game at 41 with 17 and a half minutes remaining. Here in half number 2, Perkins with the basketball for Missouri. Slips, try to keep the dribble going, deflected it toward a teammate. Another scramble, and picking it up will be Bates. Bates weaving inside the lane, puts it up off the glass, no. Rebound tipped into the hands of Matthews for State. Matthews trying to work away from traffic. Double team in the backcourt. Picks it up, needs help, fires it front court to Kugel. Back outside Hubbard, wide open three, no good. Tip no good, Melendez. Batted around and controlled by Missouri. A missed opportunity there for the Dogs.
Sometimes when you're so wide open, you just kind of can't pull the trigger.
With the dribble is Perkins for Mizzou. 15 on the shot clock as they go to Pierce. Now down low to Gray. Great seal in the finish, and he's got a cramp in his left leg. He looked like he was hanging on the rim, but he started pointing to his leg. I'm hurting. Well, that was not to showboat. That's because the leg was in pain.
Well, he's played extended minutes here tonight, and now you got Aiden Shaw coming in the game. along with Cruz.
So he'll exit. And you're right, Cruz in, and so too. First time we've seen Aiden Shaw, the 6'9 junior from Overland Park, Kansas.
And he doesn't play a lot of minutes. He's about a 4.5, 5 minute game guy.
Melendez with the basketball for State to Hubbard on the near side. Cruz defending him. Hubbard, a bounce pass into the post to Murphy. Backing his way down. Spins baseline. Double teamed and taken away. A nice play defensively by Perkins of Missouri, who brings it front court. Now Perkins trying to back down against Hubbard. Gives it outside. They work it back into the right corner. 3-ball rims out, no good for Pierce, and the rebound controlled by State. Bulldogs work it ahead in a 43-41 Missouri advantage. And then the Bulldogs throw it away. Play getting a little sloppy here in the last few possessions.
Well, Pierce had a wide open three. State got a little bit confused on defense. It's picking the guys up, and that's one thing that happens when you're switching everything.
Turnover, the 5th by Mississippi State, 11 by Missouri so far. Perkins in the lane, spinning, shooting, missing. Tipped twice, no good. Rebound controlled by Murphy in Mississippi State. Bulldogs with the ball, down by 2 with 15:33 to play, and a long 3 missed by Hubbard, and the rebound controlled by the Tigers. Far side, they'll work it to Shaw. Near side they go to Grill. Puts it up with the left hand, no good, and the rebound controlled again by Melendez in State. Ahead, they'll work it to Murphy. Gets bumped, and he will possibly have free throws upcoming when we come back. 15-17, time left here in the second half of play in Nashville. First game of the evening session. Missouri still leading Mississippi State 43-41 our score on the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the valet at the game, and I'm as tight on cash as this lot is on space. So I'm going to park your...
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The one that's watching the SEC tournament with us and hanging out here on Toronto Sports Insider as we raise money for SickKids Hospital. Wait, where I am? There I am. All right. Finally. Anyways, you get the point. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to the game. And now that I've got your attention, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single game of the SEC tournament live, as well as every game of March Madness live. Thanks for hitting that button, that subscribe button, the subscribe button with the bell. Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much, and welcome to our awesome community. We'll see you back in the chat.
Basketball is brought to you all week long by Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC.
Chris Stewart, Tim Thompson back with you here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. It's day number 2 of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. The evening session's first game has Missouri taking on Mississippi State, the 7 and 10 seeds respectively in this tournament. The winner to catch Florida tomorrow. And right now, Tim, it's Missouri still hanging on 43-41.
Well, a little bit of ragged basketball the last 3.5, 4 minutes. A lot of turnovers and, some poor shooting. But, once again, this is a competitive game. The one thing that I'm really worried about, and you look at Missouri, is Mitchell is not in the game right now. And he's one of their starters, really a key player for them. And I saw him get injured. And, his shirt is untucked, and he doesn't even act like he's getting ready to come back into the game.
Yeah. I wonder, for a team like Missouri, who knows they're in the NCAA field comfortably, this is one of those, if there's any question, you're not going to extend a guy that's banged up, right?
And I think that's probably, that may be what it is, because you're in a situation where you're probably, I think they're looking probably at a 6, maybe 7 seed. They haven't played well. They've lost 3 straight. So, you got a guy that might be injured right there. Now, all of a sudden, you rest him, and he's just shaking hands with his teammates. He's not even thinking about going in the game.
So, again, a key piece of the puzzle, to say the least, for Missouri, unavailable, and yet they still hold a 43-41 lead, and they have had the lead the majority of this contest. They've had as much as an 8-point lead in the first half. Mississippi State led by 3 early. And Murphy's at the line trying to tie it if he could hit both free throws here. First one's up and rattles in.
Well, you look at Mississippi State right now, and you got Murphy, who's 6'9", 6'10", and really look at Missouri. They have Aiden Shaw, who's probably 6'8", and Pierce, who's probably 6'11", but they're not very big. So you can maybe take advantage of some of the situation that Missouri's in, playing with a smaller lineup.
May have heard the rattle. Murphy only 1 of 2. So it's still a 43-42 advantage for Missouri. Tigers with the basketball. Front court onto the right wing. Bad pass, and the ball's deflected. Nearly stolen. Scramble, and Mizzou gets it back. Grill on the drive. Tried the reverse dunk, but missed it. And the ball will belong to Mississippi State. If Grill had gotten that one to go, the party would have begun in earnest, just based on the reaction of everybody here.
I was not expecting that. I thought he was going to reverse layup right there. He tried to rip the rim down.
He did. He just didn't put the ball through his cylinder in the process. Flew over the top of it, and with 14:52 to go, State could take the lead with a bucket here. Jones with it on the near wing. Looks to Murphy, trying to back his way down to the block. Gets into the lane, kicks it to the wing. Kugel, 3, and it's no good, but he's fouled. Shooting 3 shots. I was shielded, and for Kugel, I'm glad to hear that was a foul, because that ball barely grazed the bottom of the rim. It was well short, but there was a reason for it.
And he's not a great 3-point shooter. And, you as a defender, you just let him shoot that ball. That's just a poor decision by Grill.
So here is Riley Kugel at the line, hitting the first of 2 and tying the score at 43.
Well, we all remember him as a freshman at Florida, and I thought he was really, really good.
Had a rough second season now in Starkville, and a big reason why they are firmly in the NCAA tournament field. Kugel missed the second. And check that, he made all 3. Hit the first to tie it, then 2 makes. And it is a 45-43 advantage for the Bulldogs. Robinson working out high. Feeds it over onto the far wing. Gets a return pass from Pierce. Robinson off the screen from Cruz. Goes right, now goes left. Gets into the lane, has some contact. Ball away floater is good.
A really nice play that time. He's under control, into the middle of the lane, and created space with his body.
Here's Hubbard now for Mississippi State as we near the 14-minute mark of this second half. Tie game, 45 apiece. Missouri and Mississippi State. Dogs with the basketball. Matthews feeding it over onto the far wing. Pivoting is Jones. Working against Grill. Gives it up to Matthews, top of the arc. Hands it off to Hubbard. He'll let it fly. No good off the back rim. Jones up high to clear the miss. And a reset to 20 for the Dogs. On the drive, Hubbard, tough shot in the lane, wouldn't go, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Chris, I can't tell you what a really nice move that was. What he did is he took that basketball. There were 2 Missouri guys closing on him, and he pushed the basketball out between them and then ran and got it. Really a nice move by Hubbard.
Hubbard again with 9 points in the ballgame. Nothing yet in the second half. And he must have heard because he changed that with the first free throw attempt. Grill will exit, and he'll be replaced by Missouri's Marcus Warwick. Northern Kentucky transfer. Hubbard spins the basketball, now puts it up, knocks it home. And Mississippi State able to regain the lead. 47-45, 13:42, the time left to play in this one. Missouri with the basketball, down a bucket. Working the dribble out high. Robinson splitting defenders, getting into the lane, and a foul is going to be called. Claudell Harris Jr. guilty of the block.
And that's only the second team foul on Mississippi State. They've been doing a really, really good job of playing solid defense without fouling.
8 fouls on Mississippi State. Missouri. Excuse me, I was looking at the collective numbers there. My bad. Inbounded to Cruz. A couple of dribbles to his right. Trying to work against the defender. Gives it off onto the left wing to Shaw. Now Warrant trying to drive. Splits defenders and got fouled. Our buddy Toby Rowland, the voice of the Oklahoma Sooners, getting ready for his broadcast, inadvertently brought into the action.
He about took one on the chin right there.
Oh, man. Worst ever. I'm sitting courtside waiting to do my game. Double overtime. Vandy, Mississippi State several years ago. Lawrence Roberts and Matt Freege going for a loose ball. Oh. I bailed. No apologies on my part. Here's Warrant working away from traffic. Warrant surveying the floor with 10 on the shot clock. Cruz near side. Deep three, too strong. Long rebound comes to Matthews from Mississippi State. The Dogs will push it. Matthews spinning at the free throw line. Needs help. Unloads it to a teammate in Murphy and then gets a return pass. On to the right side now. He'll give it off to Harris. Harris working between the circles now. Trying to shake free from the defender. Had it poked away and stolen. With the steal is Robinson driving, leaving it for a trailer, throwing it home, and an and one opportunity upcoming for Aiden Shaw.
Well, that's a kid that doesn't play a lot, and that he runs the floor right there, and give Robinson a lot of credit. You had Murphy coming down behind him, and he just kind of took his body and shielded Murphy so he couldn't block the shot, and then Shaw just ripped the rim down.
We have seen enough sensational plays from both of these teams to see why they're both NCAA tournament teams.
Yeah.
We've seen enough miscues to see why they weren't able to challenge maybe in the top third or the top fourth of the league, I should say, as the free throw opportunity is missed, but they're going to say there was a man in the lane too early for Mississippi State, and so Shaw will get another attempt at the and one.
Well, he kind of cocks the ball on the side of his head a little bit and hesitates.
That one missed as well. Rebound tipped and controlled on a great play by Cruz. Tipped it to himself, secured the rebound, and a third chance opportunity, really, for Missouri. Trying to shake free and get loose was Robinson, and he's going to be fouled by Harris, and that'll be 3 free throws upcoming for Robinson. Boy, what a possession for Missouri as a squad here.
Well, you get a situation where you get up in the air like that, and then you just get out of control, and he jumps into it, creates the contact, and he's outside the three-point line, so he's going to shoot 3 free throws.
So 3 shots now for Anthony Robinson, the second. Tallahassee native, transferred from actually played at FSU High School.
Yes.
Down there. So I say he's a transfer. Nope. High school product. As he hits the first free throw, he'll get a couple of more upcoming. Trying to make it a 2-point lead. And he does.
Well, he's a difference maker. He's one of those guys that, you know, he can score. He's a really, really good defender. And now you've got kind of wholesale substitutions by Mississippi State.
You've got guards against guards for the large part here. I think you got Cruz, who's about the biggest player maybe on the floor right now for Missouri, as the free throw is good by Robinson. He gets all 3, and that is a 5-point possession for the Missouri Tigers. 50-47 now. They've got the lead. Here's Hubbard front court for Mississippi State. As we told you, he checked back in. along with Kugel and Melendez. Jones to Hubbard. Cruz defending him. 10 on the shot clock as Hubbard drives and dishes. Melendez, corner three, short. Ball's tipped, controlled by Hubbard. Then he had it poked away and stolen. On the drive, Harris giving it off. Layup missed, and a foul's going to be called on Mississippi State. I said Harris. It was actually Robinson, excuse me.
Really nice dish that time by the Perkins, and a little bit of a late whistle right there. I think the official thought that ball might go in, so he was going to swallow the whistle. When it didn't go in, then he had to blow it a little bit late.
Timeout on the floor, 11:53 to go. It's Missouri 50, Mississippi State 47. And you're listening to all the action here on the SEC Radio Network.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
A shot from three, nothing but net.
On the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a farm-rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
Chris Stewart, Tim Thompson back with you at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. It's day number 2 of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. Mississippi State taking on Missouri in the first game of the evening session. And we're glad you have joined us for this matchup as these two teams try to advance to play tomorrow evening in the quarterfinal round and draw the Florida Gators on Friday. Right now it's Missouri with a 50-47 edge.
Well, you know, you look, you played an under 12 timeout right now, 11:53. In the shooting, it's 33% by both teams. 3 of 9 for Mississippi State, 1 of 6 from the three-point line, and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Missouri 4 of 12. They're 0 of 4 from the three-point line, and they're normally pretty good three-point shooters. But, you know, once again, I think part of it is just really solid defense by both teams.
Very solid defensively, and again, sloppy. Yeah, I hate to say laziness because that may not be accurate. Other teams can make you look that way, but it has been at least sloppy on the stat sheet in moments. But also, it doesn't take much of a deep breath or a turn of the head, and all of a sudden the ball's going the other way.
Exactly, and we were just informed that Mitchell will not play in the second half, and that puts Missouri in a situation where they're playing a little bit undersized because they've got Aiden Shaw now playing in the game, and Josh Gray looked like he went out with maybe a cramp, and I don't see him on the bench either. So I think he's back behind.
No, there he is.
Yeah, he looks like he's eating something.
Need some potassium back there.
Yeah, gotta get some potassium for that cramp.
So the first free throw up and good by Perkins. 51-47 now the score. And the second one good as well. So a 5-point lead. And quite a turnaround for them. State 0 for the last 4. Hadn't had a field goal in the last 6 minutes. They were up 2 at the time, and Mizzou has turned things around quickly. Here's Jones with the basketball for Mississippi State out high. to Kugel, and Allen to the right wing. Hubbard, catch and shoot. Oh, and that one buried, and that looked like vintage Hubbard, which means that there's probably going to be another three-point attempt going up.
Yeah, it'll be a heat check pretty soon. But that's one of those things where I think they ran that for him to get him a look.
2-point game. Perkins with it, top of the arc. Over onto the far side. And Robinson. They'll drive, they'll dish. Cruz, right corner three, too strong. Rebound tipped, out of bounds, touch last, and the officials will go to the third referee. The only one that saw it was Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, and I think he got the call right.
I think he did too, but the two guys that were really actually in position to call it, they just raised both their hands and said, I don't know.
The only thing that will frustrate an official, or excuse me, a coach more than an official insisting they got it right when they believe they got it wrong is them going, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's see if Mississippi State runs another play. So what they're taking the basketball out of Hubbard's hands, and they're going to run Riley Kugel as the point guard, and they're running Hubbard off screens at the baseline. Let's see if they do the same thing to get him another look.
Kugel bringing it front court, being defended by Harris. Kugel to his right with a dribble, picks it up to Matthews now, top of the arc. Matthews throws it to Melendez, back to Matthews. They're trying to get it to Hubbard. They do near side. He whips a pass. Melendez, left corner three. Halfway down, popped out. Matthews clears it. Around they go. Again, Hubbard for three. That one's no good. Put back, laid in beautifully by Matthews.
Well, Missouri plays small. That's what happens right there. 2 offensive rebounds results in a putback basket.
This is the old school U.S. basketball league, isn't it? Everybody's 6'6" and smaller. Out there, here is Perkins with it. Now to Bates, dribbling to his right. Bates looking to play off of a screen, takes it to the wing. 10 on the shot clock as they go to Cruz. He'll stop, he'll spin baseline. He'll have it blocked on a great play by Kugel, and now here comes Melendez. Melendez driving to the rim. Floater is up, counted, and he's fouled. Oh, and a move by R.J. Melendez. Again, we have some misplays on both ends, and all of a sudden it becomes a track meet on both directions.
Well, that was not a very good shot that time by Jacob Cruz. He over-penetrated right there, a block by Riley Kugel, and then transition basket.
So the bucket's good. Foul whistled on Shaw. That's his first. It'll be the fifth on Missouri. 6 have been called on Mississippi State, and Melendez with the and one. Now in double figures with 10 points, joining Hubbard with 14 and Jones with 10 as well for Mississippi State.
And all of a sudden you look up and Mississippi State's up 3.
They are indeed a 55-52 advantage. Pierce trying to tie it. Does from the top of the arc. 55 all with 9:40 to go. Suddenly the pace picks up. Kugel up top. Now they give it to Hubbard. Driving, floater in the lane, rolls around and settles through. He's known for what he does from beyond the arc, but he can finish in the paint as well. 2-point State lead with 9:17 to go. Here's Perkins with it, playing off of the screen. Left alone, top of the arc for 3, no good. Tip, no good. Rebound controlled by Mississippi State. Kugel with it. Kugel front court. Kugel behind the back, bounce pass. Caught by Matthews. Out to Melendez for 3, no good. And the rebound controlled by Missouri.
Boy, what a bounce pass right there. That was in traffic too, Chris.
Back the other way, the Tigers work it. Trying to spin away from traffic is Bates. Stops, steps back. Deep three. Wow. Unbelievable. Bates with Kugel seemingly in his face, but got it to go and gives Missouri the lead again, and a timeout called by Chris Jans of Mississippi State.
And I think that's a timeout because there's a lot of guys that are fatigued right now.
It's not affecting the offense, though. Timeout on the floor with 8:33 to play. Missouri 58, Mississippi State 57. A good one brewing in Nashville on the SEC Radio Network.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80 plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Quite a ball game going here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena on day number 2 of the SEC men's basketball tournament session number 2 of the day, as the 7th-seeded Missouri Tigers hold a 58-57 advantage over the 10th seed Mississippi State Bulldogs. I'm Chris Stewart alongside Tim Thompson. This has been a game that has had its moments where it hasn't always been pretty, but it's always been tough, tightly contested, hard fought, but you got some execution on offense, which got a timeout from Chris Jans.
Well, and I think the timeout was just everyone was fatigued, and he realizes he needs his 5 best players in there for the most part, and that's probably a smart timeout. You're in a situation where you want to get fresh guys out there, and so they're taking this extended timeout. And 58-57, this game's gone kind of back and forth. Really not great shooting in the second half. 3-point shooting, both teams are one's 2 for 8, the other was 2 for 10. So again, just one of those things where and Missouri is a better 3-point shooting team than Mississippi State, but Caleb Grill has not been effective from the 3-point line. So this is going to come down probably to a grind this last 8:33.
You get the timeout and you remind your guys, all right, we need you to go hard for about 33 seconds, and you're going to get another one.
Yeah, another one right after that.
How much does that help players in terms of really getting their win to get 2 timeouts fairly quick like that?
Big time, especially when the game is this physical. And, you're playing through a lot of physicality, and really the game is up tempo. You're getting up and down. So back-to-back timeouts will really help both teams.
And also in tournament play here, we've got 2.5 minute long breaks. So that is really huge for both sides, but especially Mississippi State.
Well, Missouri's brought Josh Gray back in the game, and I feel like they need him in the game just from a rebounding standpoint.
He definitely changes things. Lone true big that's out there, even though State, a little smaller, can definitely battle with anybody on the glass. Here is Kugel with a dribble, stops on the right wing, needs help, 10 on the shot clock, gets it out to Melendez. He'll drive right at the bigger defender, and they're going to call him for a foul. That is Gray, whistled for the personal, and that's going to be his 3rd. So with 8:16 to go, Melendez will go back to the line. He's a player I love to watch offensively because he can definitely hurt you from 3, but is so quick going to the rim, and with his size can get to the bucket and cause damage.
Yeah, he's really an athletic guy, and I believe he played at Georgia, I think, in the beginning and ended up transferring. But he's been very effective for Mississippi State.
He did indeed start with Georgia, native of Puerto Rico. 6'7", 210, the senior. Can't get the free throws to drop, though, and it's a 58 game. He missed the first, missed the second. And Perkins gets it front court for Mizzou to Grill, who's back in. Gives it off into the corner to Cruz. Cruz trips, kept his balance. Pivots, needs help. Still with the ball, had it poked at by Melendez. Gives it off to Gray. Gray will stop, 3 to shoot. They're in the corner, a tough leader. Up, it's no good, and State bailed him out.
Wow, that's exactly what happened. They bailed him out from behind.
2 shots upcoming for Missouri. When we come back, Melendez, I believe, called for the personal with 7:47 to go. We're tied at 58, Missouri and Mississippi State on the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown.
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. But we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
How about this? Back to Music City after this timeout. This is the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Tamar Bates, 17 points, leads not only Missouri but all scores. He's gotten help, though, double figures from Tony Perkins with 10. 7 each from Trent Pierce and Mark Mitchell leads the way for the Tigers. For Mississippi State, Josh Hubbard, not surprisingly, their top scorer was 16. Keyshawn Murphy with 12 and 11 from R.J. Melendez. Those are 3 of the 4 in double figures. Sean Jones Jr. also with 10 has contributed in a big way off the bench as well. Tim Thompson, we've got 7:47 to go in this one. Hadn't decided a thing, all deadlocked at 58. What are you expecting down the stretch?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. But, you know, the one thing, you look at Josh Hubbard's numbers, and if you're a Missouri fan, a Missouri coach, a Missouri player, he's got 16 points, but he's taken 15 shots.
Right.
And so, again, a lot of volume of shots, and that's what you want if you're Missouri. You want to make him work for his shots, work for his points. And he's 2 of 10 from the three-point line. They've done a really, really good job of extending out, getting a hand up in his three-point shooting.
Nobody really in major foul trouble. Nobody has more than 3. Gray and Robinson with 3 each for Mizzou. Mississippi State with a pair of players with 3 each in Melendez and Nwoko, but 7:47 remaining.
Well, I think Mississippi State needs to take advantage of the size of Matthews and the mismatches that potentially he can get, along with Murphy. And I know that Josh Gray's a big body, but at the same time, the way Missouri switches out on the perimeter, you're going to get some mismatches on both those players.
Perkins at the stripe. Told you he's got 10 points. He made his only 2 free throw attempts earlier, and he's now 3 of 3 as he drains that one. Tigers back on top. We've had 11 ties, 7 lead changes, make it 8 lead changes as those 2 free throws make it a 60-58 Missouri advantage.
Well, now you're seeing a 1-3-1 zone by Missouri. Let's see how they attack that. If you're patient here, you're going to get a wide-open baseline jumper.
Kugel will fire a baseline pass to Matthews. They go into the corner to Jones, into the paint to Murphy. Pump fake and a kick back outside. Kugel with 9 to shoot. Drives to the corner, gives it inside. Murphy lays it in. That's really basketball.
Really nice passing that time. Really good cutting. Just being patient with the basketball and getting a good look.
So a tie game again at 60 with 7:12 to go. Bates with the basketball, driving against Hubbard, gets to the window, lays it up. It literally hung on the iron before it fell in, and it's 62-60. Missouri back on top. Hubbard hurries the other way, flips it out to Matthews. Under 7 minutes to go in this one. Quarterfinal berth at stake against Florida tomorrow for the winner. Murphy handing it back. Driving. Kugel missed. Rebound attempt. Run down by Cruz from Missouri. And the Tigers can add to a 2-point lead with 6.5 minutes remaining.
And that was a tough shot by Riley Kugel. Going to his left and then shifting it back to his right hand to shoot it.
Perkins with it. Center of the floor. Surveying. Working against Murphy. Hesitates. Throws it into the low post. Gray. Double team. Now he'll spin. Had it stripped away and stolen. Kugel running the other way. Kugel front court. Kicks it into the corner. Jones thought about it. Wisely brings it back out. And they'll set it up into the hands of Cameron Matthews. Matthews up top to Murphy. Murphy picks up the dribble. Pivots, flips it over. Hubbard goes to the baseline. Runner with one hand is good.
Wow, what a tough shot that was. You're 5'10", and you go to the baseline and you shoot that basketball over 6'9", 6'8" guys.
Let me stop you. Listed at 5'10".
Yeah, listed at 5'10".
Here's Mizzou with a basketball. Working it to the right side. Tie game at 62. Into the paint. Perkins. Tough shot with the left hand. Got it to go. He took it right into the chest of Murphy. And Keyshawn Murphy said, hey, well, not a foul. Not according to the guys in stripes. And Mizzou goes back up by a bucket. 5:23 and moving. Time left. Second half. Murphy got fouled by Gray, and that'll be his fourth. Boy, Dennis Gates had
well, now you got
8 shots at the scores table. He was ready to check in.
Yep.
And Gray picked up the fourth before he could get him.
Well, now Missouri's going to go undersized here a little bit. You got Tamir Bates going out and Robinson coming in. See, now this is where I think Mississippi State can really take advantage of some mismatches from a size standpoint.
So Murphy able to knock down the first. He'll get another try. Both teams will be in the bonus. Missouri's been called for 6 fouls. State, that was... Oh, correct myself. I'm sorry.
A lot of chirping going on now.
There are. Guys, Cruz especially saying he's holding me.
Well, that happens about 10 times on every possession, so
True.
It's not like it's unusual.
Second free throw up and good. So he had 2. He hit them both. And it's 64. 64. 5:14 and moving. Time left to play here in Nashville. Perkins splitting defenders. Kicks it in the corner. Out they go with it to Grill. Stops at the elbow. Kicks it to Cruz for 3. Bottom.
That was a really nice pass that time by Caleb Grill.
Cruz on the assist from Grill. Now on the other end, a 3. Count it, and he is fouled. The open try for Hubbard. Well, maybe he was open. He hit it anyway, got hacked, and he'll go to the line for the and 1.
Well, that switching man-to-man defense that Missouri does creates mismatch. A lot of times you want it a big guy on a little guy, but that time the little guy took the big guy, just drop-stepped on him and fade away. Cruz fouls him.
Hubbard, the sophomore from Madison, Mississippi, able to convert the and 1. That's another 4-point play. We've had a couple of those in this game. And State regains the lead by 1. 68-67 with 4:44 to go. Perkins with the basketball for Mizzou. Drives into the lane, had it stripped, goes out of bounds. Touched last by the Tigers.
Well, I tell you what, I thought he got fouled on that play right there.
Check that, I'm sorry. Touched last by Missouri. It'll be Tiger basketball. My mistake. Missouri maintaining possession as they'll inbound it underneath.
Got to throw it long.
They tried to. It's deflected. It's going to be saved by Kugel, but picked up by Missouri. Perkins now on the attack. Drives in. Shot blocked, but a foul is going to be called. Let's see what they go with. That's going to be, I believe, an and one, as they may have called basket interference on top of it. They did.
They got to replay that right there. I don't think that was goaltending. I thought that was a good block. Yeah, that ball was not even above the rim, Chris. That should just be a shooting foul right there.
They will go to the monitor.
Well, it shouldn't take them long because it's pretty obvious.
Goaltending is reversed. It'll be 2 shots.
Yeah, that was the right call. That ball was not even above the rim when it got blocked.
But in fairness, you can review it if it's calling.
Yes.
And I think that's what the official was doing there. And when you get under 5 minutes in that situation, you already have play stopped. I don't have as much of an issue with it.
Yeah. Well, and referees now, in that situation, they're calling it almost automatically because then they're going to go review it and then they can reverse it if they need to.
Right. So Perkins at the line to shoot 2. 68-67 at the moment. Mississippi State leading the Missouri Tigers. But again, Perkins a chance to tie it and take the lead. And he does hit the first. And we're deadlocked again at 68.
Well, this kind of physical play just suits Perkins. He's one of those guys that is big, strong, likes the physical contact, and he also plays through it.
Second attempt. That one is good as well. So the Tigers go back on top by 1. 69-68. Little pressure in the backcourt being put on by Mizzou as the ball's inbounded to Hubbard. Hubbard will bring it himself into the front court. Hubbard will hand it off to Jones. It'll weave out high with Melendez. Melendez picks up the dribble. A bounce pass to Matthews. Back to Melendez. Fakes a 3. Drives. Runner off the glass. No. Rebound of his own miss. Off the window again. No. But he's fouled. And Melendez will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, he just stayed with it. Aiden Shaw really played solid defense on the drive right there. And Melendez was able to get the rebound, draw the foul in the second shot.
Melendez so far in the ball game. 4 of 6 from the stripe. State 16 of 23. Missouri 13 of 26 from the charity stripe. That one did everything but go down. Rattled around about 3 times before it popped out. And he'll have one more chance to tie it up at 69. That one stayed in. Wasn't as unkind. Didn't pop out of the cylinder and remains 69-69 now as we near the 4-minute mark. Robinson on the drive. A bounce pass. A beauty to ground. Throws it home.
Well, what they did is they just isolated him on the right side. They just overwhelmed the left side.
Hubbard runs right at him, and his shot attempt just swatted out of bounds on a great play on the part of Shaw. Timeout on the floor. We're heading down the stretch in Nashville. 3:57 the time left. 71-69 Missouri leading Mississippi State on the on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game. Fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
And if you want to...
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The one that's watching the SEC tournament with us and hanging out here on Toronto Sports Insider as we raise money for SickKids Hospital. Wait, where I am? There I am. All right. Finally. Anyways, you get the point. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to the game. And now that I've got your attention, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single game of the SEC tournament live, as well as every game of March Madness live. Thanks for hitting that button, the subscribe button with the bell. Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much, and welcome to our awesome community. We'll see you back in the chat.
Gatorade.com/community.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC.
.357 to go. A tight one. Missouri leading Mississippi State 71-69. While we've got an opportunity, why don't we pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the SEC Radio Network. As expected, Tim Thompson, another good one here at Bridgestone Arena. Two teams battling, Missouri, Mississippi State. The winner getting a shot at Florida tomorrow in the quarterfinal round.
Well, a shot at Florida, and, we've both seen Florida throughout the year. And I think right now they're probably playing the best basketball of anybody in the SEC. And the thing that they have is they have those four bigs that they can just roll in. And when you're playing an NCAA, pressure and you need big guys inside, they've got four quality big guys. And then, Clayton and Richard, they're so good at the guard position. Richard's a really good three-point shooter. So is Clayton. And, you take those two guys along with what they have inside, they're really, really dangerous.
So Mississippi State coming out of the huddle. Hubbard, Jones, Murphy, Matthews, and Kugel is their five. Bates, Shaw, Cruz, Grill, and Perkins, the fifth for the Missouri Tigers. State down a bucket, inbounding it, baseline to the right of their own bucket. It'll be Matthews to trigger it in. Cruz trying to face guard him.
And it's a zone defense is what they're doing right here.
Matthews beats the count, gets it into Jones. He'll throw it back out to Hubbard. Over to Kugel now between the circles. 17 on the shot clock. Kugel off the screen from Murphy. Rises, fires, and misses the three. And the rebound controlled by Cruz of Missouri. Ball came off his hand a little bit funny, and it just wouldn't stay down. Perkins with it, front court for Mizzou. Back door, they had him.
They had him again. They were going to isolate him again on that back door.
Just didn't throw it. Now Perkins working, gives it all. Grill, deep three, short. And the rebound controlled by Shaw. Nobody was there but Shaw, and he just picked it up off the ground, missed the dunk, but got fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
I'll tell you what, Chris, from where we were right there, that ball looked like it was in.
It did.
A little bit short.
Hit the rim on the front side, the near side, and then bounced to the backside where nobody touched it till it hit the ground.
Yeah.
And then Shaw picked it up. And he got fouled. They whistle that one on Matthews. His second. And Shaw misses the first free throw.
Well, you want to win basketball games, you got to hit free throws in this kind of a competitive situation.
Only the fourth miss on 17 tries for Missouri on the night. And Shaw gets one of two. So State has the ball, trailing by 3 with 3:15 to go. Last 10-12 minutes, it's been a game of runs. Let's see if it swings back Mississippi State's favor in these final 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Kugel needing help, gives it off. Matthews center court. Under 3 minutes now. 10 on the shot clock. Matthews on the far wing. Bounce pass inside. Layup attempt missed by Murphy. Ball knocked out of bounds. Touched last by the Bulldogs.
Boy, they had just a point-blank look right there. Mismatch down low with Murphy to low post, and he just kind of short arms it.
So Missouri will walk it ahead. They lead by 3. 2:45 and moving. Time left here at Bridgestone. Perkins with the dribble. Drives to his left. Steps inside the arc. Now brings it back out. Crosses over against Jones. Goes down the lane. Stops. Steps through. Lays it up high off the glass and got it to go. What a beautiful move. Always under control there.
And that big body just being really physical. Now you got to get out on Hubbard.
5-point lead with 2:18 to play. 74-69. State needs a bucket. Did they lose it again? They did. Tried to throw it to Murphy. Couldn't hang on to the basketball. And the turnover will give it back to Mizzou.
And now you got 2:14 left and Mizzou up 5. I would say right now they're going to take the air out of the basketball a little bit, go deep into the shot clock. And now Mississippi State's going to put some full court pressure on them. I think that's what they've got to do. They've got to change the pace of this game.
We'll see. Missouri's going to get Cruz out of the game and get a little bit more sure ball handler and Robinson in. Basically going with 5 guards now with 4 and a forward in Aiden Shaw. Trying to just get it in bounds right now, and they do to Robinson.
I think you...
Whoa, that was close to being an offensive foul, but instead they got Hubbard. He tried to sell it, but it did look like initially that Robinson may have initiated the contact.
I think you're right, Chris. That looked to me like he had a little forearm right into the chest of Hubbard. I believe I'd keep the basketball in Perkins' hands. You know, he's one of those guys that really does a good job of controlling the basketball, plays through contact, and that shot he just hit was really a physical shot.
Especially with Matthews being the last line of defense as the free throw is up and good for Robinson with 2:10 to play. Second free throw upcoming. And that one pops out. So a 6-point game, but with just 2:07 to go, State can't afford any more empty possessions. 0 for their last 4 from the field. They work it near side, faking the handoff to Hubbard. Driving his Murphy. Shot would go, and he will go to the line to shoot a pair. You know who he fooled most on that play? Hubbard.
Exactly.
Because Hubbard was expecting it, and he never handed it to him.
If he hands it to Hubbard off that curl, Hubbard's got a wide open 3, but he faked it to him and took it on his own. And that's the one thing that Mississippi State has not done. They've not put the basketball in Hubbard's hands at the point guard position. They're running him off screens. I think they need to get the ball in his hands and let him create.
Murphy, the first of 2, knocks it down. A minute 56 to go. 75-70. Now the score is State will make it, or excuse me, Mizzou will make a change, getting Tamar Bates out of the game and bringing Josh Gray, the 7-footer, back in. Murphy trying to make it a 4-point game, and he does. So he hits them both. Ends the brief drought for State that they couldn't afford to continue any longer. Mizzou trying to inbound it, and they do, getting it to Perkins. State pressuring in the backcourt, and there's going to be a foul, a timeout called by Dennis Gates just before Missouri got it into the front court.
Yeah, I think he was looking at the 10-second clock, and he decided to go ahead and call a timeout just to be safe.
They'll still have 2 left. Same for Mississippi State. And they're going to make that a full timeout. And we'll keep it right here with a minute 49 to go. Tim Thompson, entertaining ball game. It's basically what we expected, though, and I'll be shocked if there's anything the rest of the way, frankly, that's not. That's just what you expect from this tournament most years, but especially this year.
Yeah, and just the competitive nature of this league is, you got 2 teams that are really physical and they're solid, both on the offensive and defensive end. But if I'm Missouri right now, I take that basketball and I put it in the hands of Perkins and let him, maneuver past the basketball. And if the shot clock is running down, now all of a sudden try to isolate him on maybe a little bit of a smaller player and then take it to the basket.
Stepping away from this one, let's go bigger picture. We've said could be 14 teams that get in the NCAA from the Southeastern Conference. We're going to be down to 8 teams tomorrow at this tournament. When we get down to 8 in the NCAA, how many do you think will be from the Southeastern Conference?
I think they're potentially going to be 4. I think we could have 4 teams in that 8. I mean, potentially we could maybe more, but if you get down to the Final 4, we might have 2 or 3, depending on the way that they bracket the SEC.
Could have to knock each other off too.
Yeah.
In order to get there, to get to that Final 4. So I just got a feeling this year it's going to be historic. I think you could have 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I really do.
You may be right. A lot of it depends on, again, just the draw that you get in the matchups. And I've always said the matchups are the most important thing. If you get matched up with the wrong team, you could be in trouble depending on who you are.
Very, very quickly. So play resumes. Missouri with the ball, up by 4 with 1:45 to go. They get it front court with Robinson. 14 on the shot clock. Robinson surveying the floor, playing off of a screen from Shaw, drives to the left wing, kicks it up top to Bates, 6 to shoot. Bates at 5, Bates at 4, goes to his right, steps back, deep 3, no good, but the rebound played by Perkins, lays it up, he missed it, rebound, batted around, fought for, and they say that it hit the bottom of the backboard, touched last by Mississippi State. They will review it. But this is going to be a big call right here because it's either going to be Missouri ball underneath with 20 left on the shot clock in 1:23 to play in the game, a 4-point advantage for the Tigers, or State will have a chance to get it and an opportunity to cut into this deficit.
Yeah, Tamir Bates shoots that fadeaway 3 right there, and Perkins did a great job on the offensive rebound right there, and then Aiden Shaw was able to keep it alive, and I think it went off Murphy, and it shot straight up underneath the basket and hit the support bar right there.
With that, by rule, it is out of bounds or a dead ball.
So now you got the rebound by Perkins, the shot, the miss, the tip by Shaw.
Batted around. And
after review, the call is confirmed. The game clock will be set to 1:24.
So they'll put a tick back on the game clock. And that's a tough break for Mississippi State and head coach Chris Jans.
Yeah, I mean, you look
right call, but a tough call.
Yes. And nobody puts a body. Hubbard did not put a body on Perkins right there. It looked like he might have got fouled, but then Shaw does a really great job of keeping that basketball alive. And I believe it was Murphy that tipped the basketball out of bounds.
So it will be Missouri to inbound it from the baseline. Trying to trigger it in. They do. Spinning, leg it up and in for 2 is Bates.
And you cannot let the ball go in at that angle right there. The guy guarding the ball has to protect the basket.
It was Jones that got beat, and now it's a 6-point Missouri lead. Hubbard with it, top of the arc. Deep 3, short. Rebound controlled again by Perkins, who has really been the man here in the last
he has. I mean, he's probably been the most important guy and the best player on the floor.
State has to foul with just under a minute to go. 59.4 to be exact, and a 77-71 lead for Missouri, and their best shooters are going to want the ball in their hands right now, knowing that fouls are likely to come.
Well, you need one of these right here to put it to a 3-possession game. Down 6. One of these would put it to 7.
Free throw up and good by Bates. 22 points now for Bates. What a game he's had. 3 boards in addition to the 21 points. 3 of 5 from the arc. 8 of 12 from the field. And he is now 4 of 4 from the free throw line. And that pair makes it 79-71. Matches their biggest lead of the night. Hubbard trying to answer with a 3. Again, it's short. And the rebound again claimed by Mizzou. It's Bates again. Fires it ahead. Grill will hand it off, and they'll just try to play keep away, but they lose it with 40 seconds to go. Here comes Melendez for three. Couldn't get it to drop. Rebounded Mizzou, and Bates says, give me the ball. Just give it to me. And he's going to get fouled by Melendez in the back court.
Well, Grill tried to get a little bit too cute with that and try to do just a no-look pass to Shaw to maybe try to get a dunk. And in that situation right there, you get the ball into Grill's hand. He's an 80% free throw shooter. You just dribble the basketball out. I will say this, Chris. Aiden Shaw has come in the game and really, I think, given Mizzou a nice lift when Mitchell has not been able to play.
Free throw up and good by Gates. You're right. It's not that he's done anything exceptional, but State has not been able to attack him as he's been there. He hasn't provided a deficit, if you will, for Mizzou, as both free throws are good. And now the biggest lead of the night for Missouri is driving quickly as Hubbard. He'll get the layup to go. And that'll be a timeout as well, called by Chris Jans.
Well, as long as you hit free throws and you don't turn the basketball over, you're going to win this basketball game. You're up 8 right now. You got to be strong with the inbounds pass, though, because you know you're going to get double teamed, and they're going to be really physical with you.
You saw the fatigue start to set in, I believe, collectively for Mississippi State, but epitomized by 2 short three-point attempts by Hubbard. He did get the layup just a second ago, but those 2 threes barely grazed the front of the rim.
Well, and the thing about it is, what Mississippi State, Claudell Harris only played 10 minutes tonight, and he's one of those guys that gets you about 9 or 10 a game. And he was, you know, you look at his stat line, he was 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line, and 2 fouls. I mean, he was really non-effective in this game, and he's one of the offensive weapons that Mississippi State needs to have in order to be productive. Well, now basically you're playing with 5 guards in here just to get the basketball inbounds.
Inbounds. And spinning away from trouble was Robinson. He will feed it off, and a foul's going to be called as Marcus Warwick had it in his hands. And I guess it was Kugel that may have had no choice but to foul him there. "19 seconds to go, and Warwick at the line trying to add to an 8-point lead, and he does. The advantage back up to 9.
Well, I would say Tony Perkins is the MVP of this game right here. I mean, I think he just controlled the basketball game.
So after the free throws drop, here's Hubbard the other way, trying to answer, misses another 3. And with 11 seconds to go, Missouri fans, and I think more so Kentucky fans, sharing their displeasure with another foul by Mississippi State, as this one is in hand for Mizzou. A 10-point advantage at 83-73. Kentucky and Oklahoma coming up next. After this contest, you referred to it as a blue haze coming over the building a little bit earlier, and it is it's more than a haze now, as the free throw from Perkins is up and good. Talked about it earlier, but what a game he's had. 19 points now, trying to get it to 20, and he does, hitting them both. And I think Hubbard's going to dribble this one out. Final 7 seconds will tick away.
Well, and both these teams are in the NCAA tournament, and sometimes coaches in a situation where, you know, you have to play 4 games in 4 days or 5 games or whatever it is, they would rather maybe win a game, go home, get rested up, and play in the NCAA tournament.
Not happy with the loss, but we'll be able to stomach it a whole lot better tomorrow once they're able to completely turn the focus to what is next.
Well, again, both these teams have been through the meat grinder of the SEC season, and you got to believe that you got guys banged up, you got guys that are fatigued, and, it probably another extra day of rest would probably help both these teams.
85-73, the final score. And in a moment, we're going to have one of the players from the winning team to join us here courtside. It's going to be determined who we're going to have a chance to visit with.
Well, you got to give Missouri a lot of credit, and they played through some physicality. And again, Mississippi State played last night. You could tell there was a little bit of fatigue, and now you're in a situation where Missouri, they're going to have to play tomorrow without Mitchell based on what we're hearing because of the injury.
And we now know who we're going to get. It's going to be Josh Gray, the 7-footer, who joins us here courtside. Josh, Chris Stewart, along with Tim Thompson. Congratulations on the win. First of all, how are you? How are you feeling? Because we saw you at one point look like you're coming down, and I don't know if it was a cramp or something worse than that.
I got a little cramp, but it was nothing.
Good deal. Well, obviously, cramp or not, you're feeling good as your team advances to the quarterfinals.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about Tony Perkins. I thought he was the guy in the second half that basically controlled the game with the dribble. He made free throws. He was a catalyst for your guys' win tonight.
Yes, sir. When I went down, Mark went down, our guard play really stepped up. And Tony, he's a floor general. He's been here 5 years, been in college 5 years, been on winning programs year after year. So we put the ball in his hands, and he just led us the rest of the way. Making plays, free throws, drawing the foul. He's a big guard.
Yeah,
big guard.
And talk about Aiden Shaw. Here's a kid that has not played a lot, but when Mitchell went out, you put Aiden Shaw in there, and he gave you some good minutes.
Yeah. We emphasize, we got 18 players on our team. We emphasize 18 strong, and we emphasize next man up mentality. So, like I said, when Mark went down, when I went out to the locker room for a second, Aiden was ready to play. And, thank God, because, he provided really good minutes, hedging ball screens, getting rebounds, blocking shots, and running the floor. So that's all we needed from him. And, he really provided a spark for us tonight.
Josh, we'll let you go celebrate with your teammates. Thanks so much for the time, and congratulations again on the win.
All right, thank you. Thank
you. Josh Gray, the 7-footer, kind enough to spend a moment or two with us here courtside as his team wins it by a final score of 85-73. They'll play Florida tomorrow in the quarterfinal round. Tim Thompson, always fun to work with you, and we got a treat of quite a nice ball game.
Yeah, a great ball game, and you're gonna have a game tomorrow night against one of these two teams that are coming up in Oklahoma and Kentucky. So it'll be interesting to see. And again, it's one of those things that this is a culmination of just the SEC season, and it ends with all these teams coming together, and you see this unbelievable talent on every team, and it's just inspiring to see that the SEC has stepped up and probably the best conference in the nation, I think.
And maybe the best year for a league ever. We'll see. Postseason beyond this week will determine a lot of that, but certainly to date, the conversation puts it in consideration for that. That's going to do it for this matchup. Again, it's Missouri advancing with an 85-73 win over Mississippi State. For Tim Thompson, I'm Chris Stewart. Stay with us. More coverage from Nashville in a moment on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
The Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or a triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
Where champions are crowned. This is the SEC Radio Network.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with me, Ma.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Another team is moving on. Time now for the postgame show, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. Stats, analysis, a full game recap, and more are coming up. Once again, let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
3 out of 4 games today are in the books as Missouri, the 7 seed, has dispatched the 10 seed Mississippi State. A dozen was the margin when all was said and done. 85-73 Tigers over the Bulldogs. We'll get you a look at the numbers coming up in just a bit. Phil Brame here courtside at Bridgestone Arena. It's Kentucky and Oklahoma to close down day 2 here in Nashville, and both the Cats and the Sooners are out on the court warming up. And as you might imagine, a partisan Big Blue crowd started